Hello, hi, I missed you. Welcome back to yet another iteration of the Daily Cooking Streams. Hope everybody is having a beautiful, gorgeous little Friday evening. If you're inside and watching me on Twitch, well, I'm happy to have you here. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. We have all the usuals in chat. It's good to see all of you. Pretty excited for today. How is everybody? Talk to me, or else I'll explode into a million little pieces. But today, I'm pretty excited for today's stream. Last time, on Wednesday, we made the spätzle and cheese, mac and cheese, and we did the pulled pork. And so today, because of the flavors that I use for the pulled pork, I figured doing some tacos would be an excellent little touch. We're gonna make some homemade tortillas today. We're going to make some chorizo, rice and beans. We're going to make a nice little salsa roja. And that's basically what we're doing, all for the sake of using up the pulled pork. And also, I haven't done homemade tortillas in a while. Hello, Cybergar Foods. Lovely to have you. Last time I did homemade tortillas, it must have been at least a couple of months ago. And I was like, there's a point in my life where I was like doing them every single week. So I do miss doing it. Hello, Blaven. Lovely to have you. Good afternoon to you as well. Maybe even a good evening. Yes, that's right. Lane, hello. So, we'll be using a little bit of maseca, right? So we got to talk about this as a product. This isn't just corn flour. One of the biggest mistakes that people first make when they make tortillas and it doesn't have the right taste or texture is they're like, oh, it's just two ingredients. It's just corn flour and water. And they go ahead and they get some and they're like, wait, this doesn't taste like a tortilla at all because you need maseca. You need nixtamalized corn. And this is dried nixtamalized corn. Okay, also, thank you so much, Lane, for the Prime sub. Really, really appreciate it. 2 years. Holy shit. Oh, 3 months. 3 months, not 3 years, okay? 3 months. Yeah, so this is nixtamalized corn. Basically, this would be, traditionally, you have the whole dried corn kernels that then get mixed with a little bit of limestone once ground, and it sits for a couple of days, and the process of nixtamalization does make it a little bit more bioavailable in its nutrition, and its taste and texture changes as well. So if you're making homemade tortillas, you can either start from whole dried corn and nixtamalize it yourself, or you have to start with maseca. Okay, and there's some really good maseca brands out there. This is kind of the standard one that you would kind of see all over the place. So this is what you want. Also, hello, lovely to have you. Next, we're gonna make some chorizo rice and beans, or rather specifically the chorizo beans. That's right, there you go. So over here, I got about a pound of chorizo, a little bit of sausage, in fact. I got a pound of dried black beans, okay? And I don't have any chicken stock to cook it in today, so I'm gonna have to go for dried chicken bouillon. I'm a little bit behind on my stock supply, so I've gotta get that going ASAP. Yeah, oh, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be excellent, in fact. Hello, hi T, it's lovely to have you. Hello, my little tea champ, tea girl, in fact. Sorry, I apologize sincerely. Okay, so that's for the beans. We're gonna make a little salsa roja as well. So I have some whole tomatoes right here. We're gonna char this under the broiler. We're gonna burn the skin. We're gonna blend the whole thing up. It's gonna be lovely. It's gonna be delicious. Let's see. It's gonna have some chilies in it. It's gonna be great. You? No. No way. No way. So we do have to kind of begin now-ish. And the reason for that is because the beans are gonna be the thing that takes the longest. That's gonna be about 40 minutes in the pressure cooker total. The first step is we're going to saute the chorizo inside of it, and then we'll throw in the rest of the aromatics. So while the chorizo is actually cooking, we'll work on that. So I'm just going to preheat my pressure cooker on a saute setting. And I wish I could actually have a proper camera angle for you guys, but I'm afraid you guys are gonna have to make do. But you know what? If there's one expression that I live by, it's country girls make do, okay? So that's gonna happen. And now let's go ahead and take the chorizo out of the casing. So we don't need this. We will just need a bowl though. I'm gonna grab some gloves, and all we're gonna do, we're just gonna take the casing off. Because you don't wanna like bite into the rice and beans and then get like a super chewy piece of like the sausage skin. You wanna just have like the chorizo crumbled throughout the beans, okay? What brand cutting board was that again? This style of cutting board is a composite wood, and it's called an Epicurean board. And I really like Epicurean boards because they hold up substantially in the dishwasher. Also, I forgot to mention, I have a lovely guest with me for a few days. which is going to be really nice. And she's going to pop in and out, and she's going to try the food on occasion. And you're going to be very nice to her, is what's going to happen. But okay, in the meantime, I'm failing to glove up. I finally got one of those on. It is massive. That's right. The cutting board, that is. Okay, now let's go ahead and decase this. There's actually no method to this. You just kind of squeeze it out, I guess. This one's already kind of cut for us, so we just take it all out of the casing, just like so. We could probably open it up and peel it off. I just want to get rid of any of those like chewy sausage skin bits, okay? I do wonder if the store had already pre-skinned chorizo for me, so I didn't have to do this myself. But at any rate, this is a pretty important step. At least I consider it so. We're going to saute the hell out of this chorizo. It's going to be great. Okay. That's that. Now let's open up one of these bad boys. Come on. Ah, gotcha. And now we just squeeze all of it out. You eating microwave lasagna right now and watching this? Oh, there you go. You have Martha Stewart? Yes, that's right. That's the exact guest that I had in mind. Yeah. Yeah, that's who I have in my home. Martha Stewart's apparently a really big fan. God, that'd be fucking hilarious. Oh, this is a little bit tough to do. I can't lie. This isn't very easy, guys, all right? There's no way to do this that isn't a little cringe. And I wonder if there's a better method. Maybe if I just do what I did before where I kind of inverted the sausage. That's fine. That does it fine. Okay. Come on. Oh no, there's hair falling in my face. And both of my hands are gloved and sausaged up. Natalie, could you please get the hair out of my face? Thank you, I'm sorry. I'm just going to take advantage of this while you're here. Oh, thanks, I appreciate it. No, it felt, can you like tuck it behind my head? Thank you. Yes, I can do that. Natalie, thank you so much. That was very sweet of you. I did not mean to use you in that way. Theoretically, yes, you could scrape it on a board, but that would be an extra little dish that I would not like to clean. So I'm doing it this way instead of having one more thing to do. No. Okay. That should be the majority of the meat. Oh no! Oh, it's fucking over. I got a little bit of meat onto the cutting board itself. Okay. That was a lot of effort to get rid of the meat from one little casing like that. That might not have been worth it. Maybe the best way would be to split it open like this if I were to go all the way through it. That's not my mom. This is a girl I have visiting from Tampa. Okay. I should have actually just gotten the cutting board out of here, but it's fine. It's fine, okay? This is not a very pretty process, is it? Okay. We're getting it done though. We're getting all the schmeat out. The cutting board stays. Yeah, we'll just flip it over. We will just flip it over because the cutting board is going to be used for some vegetables that we need, so it'll be fine. Okay. Yeah, this is not very pretty, is it? But guys, guess what? It's getting the job done. This is a lot of chorizo. I actually might not need that much. I think half a pound would be a pretty respectable amount for a pound of beans. Pound of dried black beans. You know what? I might actually stop the sausage skinning at this stage. I'm thinking about it. And maybe we'll cook up the chorizo as like a little snack. Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm thinking. I'm considering this heavily at the moment. No. I want a nice meaty beans. Oh, Natalie, can you help me again? Thank you. Okay, we're just going to go all the way through it again, I think, is going to be the intention. Thanks, I appreciate it. It did not work out. That's fine. It's fine. It's okay. I'll put up with the consequences. It's okay. You need a hair clip? It's going to keep happening? I don't like hair clips. God. People do keep complaining that I have like my hair down and I don't tie it up when I stream, but you know what? The most important thing is to look good, and I like my hair down. I'll be your assistant? No, I'm okay, thank you though. It would be nice though in the future to hire like an assistant that could like help me out with like some of the dishes and some of the cleanup and stuff. That would be really, really nice, but not something I can afford at the moment. Okay. The oil in the pressure cooker is already heated up. And normally I am a pretty big hater of sauteing inside of a pressure cooker. I feel like other vessels are best suited to it. But because I'm only sauteing one component and I don't care if it like sticks, it'll be fine. What's it like to cook with you? Is that arrangeable? I don't know. I've never had that happen before. Usually, I'm the only person allowed in a kitchen at a given moment because I'm very bad about like delegating space. But I think had I been given like a bigger kitchen and not like a New York apartment kitchen, it would be very fun to have somebody cook alongside me. There were some talks with a friend of mine to do that at one point, but I guess we'll just see. Okay, the chorizo, my friends, is almost out of the casing. Okay. Yes, that'd be a very nice non-exploitative internship, I'm sure. All right, my friends, this is an entire pound of chorizo going into these beans, okay? This is some serious business. That's been done. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that into my little device, and we're gonna get back to everything that we've been doing in just a moment. So we gotta chop up some other aromatics, and this is just getting dumped into the pot. Actually, I'm gonna keep the bowl, because I'm gonna put some stuff in it. Okay. Hello, Gaji. Welcome, welcome. Okay. So, let's get back to this. We're gonna flip over the cutting board so it's not on the same side as everything else. Okay, that bowl we're gonna set aside. That's where we're going to put all the aromatics. So, first step is gonna be this onion. We're going to get about half of this onion cut up. And then a quarter of it is going to go into the salsa. Just like that. Lovely. And again, the point of the onion is to basically flavor the beans, but not really be like a component of the beans or anything, okay? So, we're peeling this half. We've cut off both the root and the head of it. We're gonna chuck the whole thing in. Only thing is we're going to just cut it in half so that it does get to separate a little bit. But again, this is purely for the sake of flavoring the beans, and we're keeping it whole and we're keeping it intact. So that's done. This I'm going to go ahead and set aside. I'm also going to give the chorizo a nice little stir, and we'll break it up, in fact. That's what we'll do. Beautiful. God, I love chorizo, dude. It smells wonderful. And it's just chorizo by itself at the moment. Okay, next, we have a couple of other things. We have some garlic that we have to take off. So, once again, always peel your garlic cloves over the bowl so that none of the papery skin actually gets onto your cutting board, because that's just gonna make a mess, all right? We'll do this much. That's what we'll do. 4 cloves. And we'll need plenty of garlic for everything else we're doing, but at the moment that should be fine. Okay, sweet. It's plenty of garlic, don't sweat it. For this, it's gonna be fine. Because we're gonna have a couple of other components that have garlic, like the sazon that we're gonna add to this, okay? We're gonna do a double packet of sazon and then a little bit of chicken bouillon as well. And the chicken bouillon is mostly to compensate for the lack of chicken stock. So now that we've smashed it, we're able to easily separate the garlic skin from the rest of the clove. We're gonna get a couple of other things into the mix as well. We want some really flavored beans. Beans are serious business, guys. You don't sleep on beans. We're gonna get them tender, we're gonna get them creamy, and after it's cooked, it's going to reduce in all of the stock that we've created out of the beans and the aromatics. It's gonna be wonderful, okay? So, peeling up the garlic cloves, that is almost done with. I could have crushed this one a little bit more because it is coming off not the easiest. at the moment. I love beans to death, dude. They are just my favorite. Okay. Get that off. Lovely. And then this last one has to go as well. And we don't have to chop these up or anything. We're just going to leave them whole. So we can easily pluck them out. Only thing I am going to do, I am going to cut off the butts of every single garlic clove. Sweet. That's 4 garlic cloves. Lovely. That's going to go into the bowl with the red onions. I'm going to go ahead and give my chorizo another stir. And it's okay if it sticks to the bottom because we are going to deglaze this with a bunch of water. So don't worry too much about that happening. But it doesn't seem to be that big of an issue anyways. Oh, I love chorizo so much, man. God, it smells excellent. Okay. We're going to do a couple of bay leaves. Just a handful. Don't have to go too crazy with it. I am doing a little more than usual, only because I don't have any stock, and I usually flavor my stocks with bay leaves, right? So in this case, it's a bit of a necessary compensation to do. That's done. That's the onions, that's the garlic, that's the bay leaves. Next, we have, of course, a little bit of sazon and a little bit of chicken bouillon. And that's all gonna go inside. I'm not gonna show you guys how to measure that. The chicken bouillon, I'm going to just put a couple of spoons in and then adjust it after it cooks, and then I'll decide how it's going. As for the sazon, that I'm just going to do a double packet of. I have opened this in the most roundabout way imaginable. So just a double packet of that. That should be fine. And then I guess I can just show you the pot and all of the stuff that's inside of it. That's the sazon. This is the bouillon, the onions, the bay leaves, the garlic, and that should be basically it. That's all that we're going to do for the beans. And now the chorizo has built up a good amount of color. Yeah, that is totally fine to my taste. I'm going to show you guys exactly what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and clear that. Just so that you guys could take a look at this. Beautiful. Cooked chorizo, huh? Oh, that is actually just gorgeous. Look at this thing. I'm very happy about this. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. We gotta fill this up with 2 quarts of water. The universal ratio for beans in a pressure cooker is always 1 pound of beans to 2 quarts of water. That's what I do. It doesn't fail me. It does a great job. 1 pound of dried black beans. We're gonna add that in a second. I'm just going to use the pressure cooker's marked lines to measure out the amount of water. Oh, the smell of chorizo is fantastic. It is actually my favorite. Okay, and now I'm gonna go ahead and fill this up with water. It's gonna splash for a second, but I don't care. It'll get over itself. Wait, Natalie, I'm gonna need your hand on the faucet. I'm gonna ask you to shut it off in a second. Come. Please, thank you. You're the best. And, wait, a little bit more. A little over the 2 line. Stop, thank you so much. You are the best. Okay, sweet. 2 quarts of water. Also, hello, Nicholas. Hope you're having a lovely day today. So my friends, once again, let's take a little look. The chorizo has sauteed. We just filled that up with 2 quarts of water. And now, to this, you know what? I'm going to set up the pot in a way that you guys can see everything, because I think that'd be nice. That'd be a nice thing for me to do to you guys, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and move this aside for just a second. Let's go ahead and set up this towel, just because that's a really hot pot. Okay. And now, my friends, take a look. This is the chorizo and water, really, really simple. Now we're adding in an entire pound of dried black beans. Okay? Then, the onions, the garlic, the bay leaves, everything. Okay? All that's going inside. That's just onions, garlic, bay leaves, and I think that's actually just it. Great. Pretty happy about that. And then, I'm going to just throw this into the dishwasher while I have a chance, because it'll make my life a lot easier. And now, we're going to go ahead and open up my double packet of sazon. Going to throw all that inside. And with the chorizo, with all the spices that the chorizo has and all the spices that come with the sazon, there should be plenty of seasoning. There should be enough. And I'm not going to really worry about the salt. We can always salt it later because we're going to keep all of the bean cooking liquid. We're going to reduce it into a sauce for the beans, basically. The bouillon that we're adding is super, super salty, right? So I don't really care about the amount of salt that I'm adding in now. I just want to get enough bouillon. And then later, when we feel the need to adjust, we'll just add salt to taste. So a couple of big spoons of that bouillon, and that should be it. That should be everything that we need for the beans. And now all we have to do, we throw it onto high pressure, and we let it cook for about 40 minutes or so. You guys following? You guys got all that? Good. Excellent. Hi, I missed you. So let's go ahead and put this pot right back onto the stove. I'm just checking to make sure it's not wet on the bottom. It is not. Lovely. So my friends, high pressure for 40 minutes. Also, I just got my microphone cut in the door. That's it. That's everything that we need to do for the beans. That was just the only thing that we had to get done that much in advance. And now we can take a second, we can chill out, and we can regroup. And we can also throw some things away that we do not need. We can just clean up the station because you have to clean as you go in order to upkeep a level of tidiness in your kitchen. Okay? You following? Good. Just getting rid of some stuff while I have a chance. Sweet. Hi, I missed you guys. Welcome back. Okay, so here's all of the other components that have to be made. We have to do the tortillas, and the process for the tortillas is going to be really simple. We have a little bit of flour, we have a little bit of water. Oh, that's okay, Zio. Judging an MTG pretty ladies. Well, I hope you have a lovely time. So the tortillas are just going to be the maseca and some water. We mix it up and then we let that sit for about 30 minutes or so. And then after the initial 30 minutes of the rehydrating of the corn flour, we're then going to shape it into balls and cook it and get an entire station ready for that. So that has to happen now. The next step is we should soak some rice because we're going to do some hydro rice, so we'll wash the rice. And we're going to build that. Then we have to make the salsa. So we have some shit to do, is what I'm trying to say. We have some shit to do. Let's begin with the tortillas. And so I have a little kettle of water, and I'm gonna set that on now. Is that all my real hair? Yes, it is. Homegrown, artisanal. In fact, no GMOs, but added hormones. I have rehearsed this line so many times, you have no idea. I'll be back in a second. I'm just setting a kettle of water onto the boil, because we need some nice hot water for the maseca. I have not actually experimented too much with like cold water versus hot water for homemade tortillas, but I think I should. Okay, I set that on. The water is gonna come to a boil now. Now we've just gotta measure out a little bit of the maseca, and we gotta get our station set up, yeah? So let's get all that going, my friends. Here's what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna wipe all of this down, clean up my surface, clean up my table. Also, hello, Harmony. Hope you're having a beautiful day today. Okay. Wouldn't it be fucked up if the background was a green screen the entire time? Yeah, just like tear it down. It's like, ha! You thought. Who knows how I even put things behind me this whole time. Okay. Taking a little sip of water because I'm dehydrated. Excellent. And now, let's begin. So, you want a bowl, you want a big bowl. You want a bowl that's a little bigger than you think you're actually going to need for something like this, okay? And now, we're gonna measure out a little bit of maseca. And this is the kind of a thing, by the way, that there is no exact measurements. There's a general ratio that you're following. And in my experience, that's 3/4 of a cup of water to a cup of maseca. But you're actually just going to adjust. And I'm going to show you, not to you, I'm talking about you back home. You specifically, you special. I'm gonna show you how to tell and test for the right amount of hydration. And the guide that I had been following was basically the one that Internet Shaquille posted about homemade tortillas. That is the one that I follow to make them at home. And that is what like first inspired me to actually go out of my way and do this, right? And it's great. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. gonna grab a cup. I'm gonna grab little cupskis. And I'm trying to think about how many tortillas I actually want to make today. We'll do a little bit of tortillas. I have no idea how much that'll be yet, but we'll find out. Because I am feeding 2 people, all right? So I would like a nice little bit. So, big old heaping cup of maseca. So however much that makes is gonna be plenty, okay? And again, these are not measuring cups or anything. This is not the kind of a thing that you wanna measure. You have a very general ratio that you wanna follow. Have I missed much? No. Only thing is that we did set the pot of beans, but that just has to happen in advance. So that's why we rush to be able to get that done, because it has to build pressure, it has to do the whole thing, you know, it's a whole process. Okay, the water, we don't need it to be boiling per se, but it would be nice for us to have some hot water. Okay, now, here's what's gonna happen. We have a little wooden spoon. We're also gonna glove up simultaneously. Ooh, and this is gonna be a nice excuse to also use my carbon steel pan again, because before I was using an enamel Dutch oven, and I think my carbon steel pan is actually just gonna be an optimal vessel for this. I hope you're doing lovely as well. I hope you're having a beautiful day, in fact. How's that sound? Okay. My water is nice and hot. And we're basically going to measure out the cup that we added, because we did a heaping cup, which was basically like 1.5. And then we have to add water and adjust as we go, basically, right? So we're going to go in with a little bit of water, not all at once, just about that much. We're going to mix up some of it and then add the rest. Just move it around, cool it off. Don't boil all of the maseca at once, okay? I follow you, house guest, on Twitter, evidently. Great. Excellent. I love it when that happens. Small world? No, that's just the nature of women on Twitter. That's what happens. This keeps happening. Okay. So we're just mixing up, we're distributing that amount of water. And again, we might just have to keep on adjusting how much we're adding, okay? And I'm going to show you what the final texture, what the final dough is going to look like. It's all gonna come together. Don't worry about it. This is like my 10th time doing these. And every time I've done it, I've just gotten better and better at it. Okay, we'll add the rest of the water now. And then at some point, once this is cool enough for us to handle, I'll be using my paws, okay? Wait, sorry, these will be corn tortillas, I assume, or do they make a mix with flour tortillas? Flour tortillas are fundamentally very different from corn tortillas. And the reason is flour tortillas are leavened, okay? Flour tortillas, they have either like some baking powder or baking soda in them or something, and they puff up. Corn tortillas are very simple. Nixtamalized corn, water, that's it. Flour tortillas have the presence of lard or vegetable shortening. You need a really nice thick fat like that. And they have like a bunch of other components too. They're quite complicated, and they're complicated for different reasons. And the entire theory and fundamentals of them, it's actually quite fascinating how different they are from corn tortillas. And how they really share that name, but they just could not be more different besides how they're used, right? Because they're both used for, you know, just filling and eating out of like a staple. But they really could not be more different. Okay. The one that ruined the quality of the stream? You know what? I like compliments, but I'm not crazy about being called hot by my Twitch chat. All right? I would not, that's not my thing, please. Thank you. It makes me a little uncomfortable. Hello. Hello to you too. Hope you're having a beautiful day today. So I'd like to give you a heads up. Please don't do that again. That's all. Okay, my friends, so this has now become cool enough to the touch. And what you'll notice, you have some clumps of flour that have a lot of water inside of them. And your goal is to effectively break them up and distribute it all throughout the rest of it. And we'll add more liquid as needed, okay? So we're just getting our hands in there, we're cleaning up the bowl, we're scraping down the sides of it, we're getting all of that back in there. Look at this. Oh, and this, let me tell you, once this starts to develop and this starts to form, it's the best. And I like punching down on the dough itself because what it allows me to do is it flattens all of the layers of the overhydrated dough and gets everything nice and even, okay? And this doesn't have any gluten in it, like wheat flour, or other types of wheat, like buckwheat and stuff, right? So you can't actually overmix this, but you definitely can undermix it. So don't be afraid. Punching down, you know what? I wanted to make a joke about that, but then you beat me to it. Can't believe this. I am in disbelief. How could you? Okay, is it supposed to be a dry dough? No, I'll show you what it looks like. It's just not coming together yet because we have not evenly distributed all the moisture. I'll show you. We just have to keep going at it for a little bit, and then we will add more water if necessary. And it does seem like it is starting to be necessary, because at this point, we shouldn't have a bunch of dry flour in the bowl still, okay? And again, this is gonna be totally variable depending on the day, depending on the humidity of stuff, depending on your water temperature. There's a million factors. The only thing that you can do is see what you have, okay? And adjust, and a little bit of water at a time, because once this comes together, it comes together. So, we're going back to the spoonful now, just to cool it off, because that was indeed boiling water that we just added. This looks like it's hard to do? Not at all. This is a very simple process. The only thing that's hard is when you don't know what it is you're looking for. This is actually great to do at home. And the product that you get is infinitely times better than store-bought pre-made tortillas. If you have a tortilla factory near you, one that doesn't like to order, where they do it daily, then you can go ahead and do that. But supermarket Western corn tortillas are actually just dog shit. They're pretty terrible. They're stored out of the fridge, which should never happen to begin with because it's quite volatile. It loses its taste and can spoil outside of the fridge. It's bizarre that it's not kept in refrigeration, and they add a bunch of other things, and you don't know how fresh it is. Because the best corn tortillas are the ones that are made within 2 to 3 days maximum, right? Like in restaurants in Mexico, I remember, in Mexico City, you have an entire, ladies whose entire job is just to keep consistently making tortillas. They're just going. And it's nice and fresh, and it's delicious. And now, my friends, you can see that it's starting to come together because we added all of that extra liquid. We're going to go ahead and punch all of this back down. We're going to flatten all of these layers in the tortilla dough. Smush it all around, and then bring it back together. And we'll just keep repeating this process until I get my desired result, my desired consistency. It's still a little bit crumbly. Whoa, did I just break my bowl? Fresh tortillas do indeed slap. They're pretty wonderful. Okay, so let's take a look. I can already tell you this is a little bit too dry, but the way to test for it is we're gonna go ahead and grab a little ball. We're going to roll it in our hands. And so the indication is this: if it's sticking to your hand too much, it's too wet. If it cracks around the edges, it's too dry. So watch this. We flatten it, and guess what? Look how it's cracking around the edges. You see how dry these edges are? That tells us this can take more water. Okay? Too much water, and then it'll be too sticky, and you won't get the right texture when it cooks, and it might end up sticking to whatever surface you're cooking on. So, a little drizzle of water. How much water is that again? I have no clue. We're just adding incrementally, and if we ever add too much, then we'll add in a little bit more maseca. And we'll just get all of that back in there, because that is hot water. Oh, today is one of those hair days, isn't it? That's fine. You would devour that? Yeah, just warm cornmeal? Yeah? Okay, that's fine, and now I can touch it with my hand again. What is the flour? This is maseca. This is nixtamalized corn. So you can't use any corn flour for this. It has to be nixtamalized. I cannot emphasize this enough. Okay. Punching all of it down, and it's gonna get a little bit moister as it just chills out because it's just basically hydrating the flour as it chills. So we're not really resting the dough, we're just hydrating it when we set it aside. Okay. Getting all of it in there. And again, you really want to evenly incorporate all of this, okay? A little bit of pressure, a little bit of process, but with enough time, you will get a very special product. And now I can tell you, this is a lot more of what this dough is supposed to look like. Okay? Make sure it's totally even. Again, we're just going to press all of this down. This is tiring. Oh, but it's fine. It's going to make us delicious tortillas, and thus, it is all worth it. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look as to what this looks like now, all right? It looks kind of like clay, exactly. It's the same idea, it's the same process. Okay, my friends, look. We roll a little ball, we squeeze it out. That might still be a little too dry, but it's a lot better than what it was before. Okay, so we're gonna do one last splash of water, and then we're gonna call it, we're gonna wrap it up, and it's going to chill out. It did happen fairly quick, didn't it? It just came together. A little splash of water. Beautiful. And that's the last one. Again, I like pushing the amount of moisture I can put in because it really makes for some lovely tortillas. Okay, if it's too dry, it's too crumbly, it's not worth it. Ugh. Oh no. Get back in there. Do I have one of those cool wooden press thingies? Kind of. I have a chrome one. I'll show it to you in a second, actually. And again, guys, the most important thing in why corn tortillas are difficult is because it's all about regulating the humidity. It's all about regulating the moisture. Okay? That's all that there is to it. Once this is done, then it's about evenly pressing it, and it is deceptively complex. This is actually just 2 ingredients. This is just maseca and water, and yet there is a lot of theory that goes into this. There's a lot of processing in order to make sure that we have beautiful, delicious, chewy, and leavened corn tortillas naturally. And we'll see how it goes. So, getting all this done. That should now be fully processed because we incorporated all of the additional water. Hello, salt. Lovely to have you. Hope you're having an excellent day today. Okay. That is the next batch of the tortilla dough. Let's go ahead and check that humidity one more time with the little splash of water that we just added. You look like a pirate. I don't know how to do a pilot noise, actually. I was going to for a second, and then I've decided ultimately against it. Okay, now this is looking a lot better. Can I add more water? Can I push it even more? Oh, I don't want to touch that hand, actually. I'm thinking, maybe a little splash of water. We'll do one more. I have an eye patch. Oh. I guess so, because my hair is covering it. We'll do more water. We'll do one more little thing of water. Let's do it. We're going to be bold. We're going to be courageous. We're going to push the limits of moisture that this tortilla dough can possibly handle. It's going to be great. We'll see. Ugh. Oh, that squelch. I don't like that. I don't like that. But we'll get it all in there. The water is not that hot anymore, so it's going to be fine. I really want to make sure that the dough's humidity is just right. Even if this seems like it's a lot of water, trust me, my friends. Incorporate it. Get it in there. Punch it down. I know this is taking a little bit. I know it is. I know it's a lot of effort, but I promise you, the delicious, freshly cooked homemade corn tortillas are absolutely worth it. What it makes is really a special product, okay? They've got that chew, they've got that digestibility, they've got that flavor. They have a real, they're awesome. You know what I hate? I hate when people are like, oh, corn tortillas, they're so rubbery, and all they're talking about are cold, shitty supermarket corn tortillas. Yes, of course it's rubbery, because starches get rubbery when they're cold. They get hard, and then they crack and they break, and then they're not pliable. These are going to be pliable, beautiful. Pliable, beautiful corn tortillas, okay? So, this is now just about done for the last time. You can't really overmix this, but you definitely can undermix it. Let's go ahead and take a look. Now, my friends, is it possible to just eat that ball? Yes, you will be eating raw corn flour, so your tummy might hurt a bit. Oh yeah, look at these edges. Look at these edges. That is what I'm talking about. Beautiful. Hello, 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 lovely to have you. Okay, my friends, that is now a completed ball of dough. You can actually see the difference though, right? We roll it up into a ball, we flatten it out, and look at these edges. Look at these edges, nice and smooth, okay? And it's only very slightly sticking to the hands, to my paws, rather. Okay, That is now Dunskies. I'm going to wrap this up with a little paper towel, and that will be it. That was a little bit of effort, wasn't it? Put a lot of love into this, my friends. Just gonna roll this around so we get a nice even ball or so. Because it's gonna wrap up easier if it is. A little pressure. Great, that is Dunskies. Where is Natalie? Natalie, come in. Well, you're actually being blocked by the thing.
Hi.
This is Natalie. All right, you've done your obligatory appearance. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm pretty happy about it. Okay, let's keep rolling with the punches so I don't get gay. Okay, that'll be a problem. Now, let's get a little plastic wrap. Get a little plastic wrap. We're gonna wrap this up. That's right. This is the special guest. I'm very happy about it. Natalie does have lovely hair, doesn't she? It's pretty great, let me tell you. Okay. My friends, the dough has now been made. Plenty of moisture, plenty of hydration. This is gonna sit here and it's gonna chill out a little bit. We've done it. This has to sit for around 30 minutes or so. Hi, sorry I'm late. That's totally okay. Hello, Crybaby Kate. It is lovely to have you. Okay. That's going. That's doing its thing. I'm going to take a second to go ahead and sip on a little bit of water. So, while this is happening, the best time to wash flour off of stuff is as soon as you're done with it, right? Because the most uncomfortable thing in cooking, to at least me, is feeling like, oh shit, oh, I have to wash off dried flour, dried dough off of something. It is uncomfortable. It is extremely unpleasant. So get it off now while you can, okay? Get it off now, get it done with, and then you will thank yourself later. And so guys, the resting process of the dough is pretty important. And it's not resting in the sense of like we're relaxing any gluten strands, but just to fully hydrate the flour. Why is my stove doing the night lighter? Because of the refresh rate of the camera. I bought a plate for when the meal is done. Well, guess what? I've made plenty for a couple of us. I am gonna be eating good. It's gonna be fantastic. Okay, so let's have a little recap. Let's have a little second recap, everything that's been going on. We did what? We set the pot of beans into the pressure cooker. The pressure cooker has the chorizo, an entire pound of chorizo for an entire pound of black beans. It has some sazon, it has some onions, it has some garlic, it has some bay leaves, it has some chicken bouillon as well. It's incredible stuff, really. And we set that on, and it has to cook on high pressure for 40 minutes or so. And it's going to be lovely. It's going to be delicious, in fact. It's going to be super meaty. And once it is done, we take off the lid and we reduce it all the way back down. Okay? It's going to be great. And we want that so it's nice and saucy, so that it's nice and viscous. Okay? The thing that I hate most is when people, when they drain like a can of beans. Let's say you get like a can of like black beans or something, and they rinse it off and they drain it off, and they lose all of that thick liquid because they're like, oh, it's bad for my stomach. You have lost the most powerful and important thickening agent, and it's full of flavor. Trust me, get a can of beans. If you're going from canned beans, cook it all the way down, reduce the bean liquid, and it's going to build the sauce for the rest of the beans without needing to mash it. That's exactly what we're gonna do here. It's going to pressure cook, okay? And then it's going to reduce. It's gonna be incredible. These tacos sound heavenly. Oh, it's gonna be great. And this is all just for like the rice and beans side that we're doing. I do have, so if you guys remember, last time we did make a whole batch of pulled pork, okay? This entire container of pulled pork. And I want a nice way to use it up. And I thought turning this into tacos would be actually quite lovely. You're not meant to rinse beans. It depends. If you're doing like a salad, you don't need that liquid. In this case, the liquid is essential. It is an essential thickening agent. I'll give you an example. Chili. When people rinse the beans for chili, a part of my heart dies. Because the bean cooking liquid that goes into chili, or if you're European, chili con carne, when it reduces, it thickens everything and it brings the fat together. so that you don't have like a pile of grease on top, so that it's all like nice and saucy and thick and viscous and rich. The bean cooking liquid is essential. Do I rinse if tried? You can if it makes you feel better. That's my answer. Doesn't really do much, IMO. But I hope that answers your question. Okay, and then also, the reason I wanted to do tacos was because I have some lovely, spicy little pickled onions. Look at this thing, huh? I'm gonna show you guys right now what that looks like. Let's get over here. I have these pickled onions that I wanted to use up, and they would be quite ideal on a taco. Look at these things. Gorgeous, aren't they? Okay, so here's what else has to happen. Yes, the pulled pork and the pickled onions we filmed the other day, and so we're basically just repurposing everything that we've made. And that's the way that I love thinking about food. That's the way I love thinking about cooking, is always how can I turn this into something else? How can I make it special? Rather than just, here's my theory. If you're cooking at home, your food has to be one of two things. Number one, it has to be something that is easily reheatable. I don't do steaks at home. If I'm doing a steak, it's a celebration. I'm not doing things that are deep fried at home because they don't reheat very well. The second thing is, if it can't reheat very well, can you transform it into something else? The pulled pork, while it can reheat well, it is a little bit better when we transform it into this next abstraction, which is the pulled pork tacos. The pressure has built in the pressure cooker, which means it's going to take 40 minutes for all of it to cook. Lovely. And that's the way I always think about cooking at home. The entire point of what I'm trying to show you guys, okay, what's how to do, is how to cook at home. Not how to make every recipe that you want, not how to make every single dish that you like and desire, but a consistent and reliable way to cook food that is suited for the home kitchen. And the things that we experiment with are me deciding, is this suitable for the home environment? I think homemade tortillas are a very nice project for the home environment. I think they are. I think they're beautiful. You do them yourself, they store a few days in the fridge, and then you can do a million things with them. You can reheat them again properly with a little bit of liquid just to make tacos again the next day. You could turn them into huevos rancheros. You can fry them into chips. There's a lot of exciting things that you can do with tortillas that you make at home. The beans hold well, you just reheat them that easily. The pulled pork we're transforming into the tacos today, it's actually just gonna be perfect. It's all gonna work out. No, so I'm gonna explain to you, kind of. In fact, this holds better than any other dough that you've had because of the fact that it's A, not leavened, B, not gluten-based. Because of the fact that this is just straight maseca, straight nixtamalized corn flour and water. You can basically leave it in the refrigerator as long as you want, as long as it's tightly covered by plastic, making sure none of the moisture escapes the dough, and you do need to bring it back to room temperature every time that you want to use it because it's a lot more difficult to shape cold dough. Okay? So, yes, you can. You can make the dough in advance. You can literally just have some that sits in your fridge. It does make a good frisbee tool, doesn't it? Okay. Let's get rid of this. From my station. Now we gotta think about what else we need to do. So, we gotta soak some rice for the rice and beans, of course. I'm gonna be using some Haiga rice, and we can talk about that again in a moment. I feel like the light is hurting my eyes today, and I don't totally know why. Maybe I can make fry bread tacos tonight. Very cool, very sick. I've never actually had fry bread before, but I have an idea of what it would taste like. Nice Brawlhalla shirt. It's a shame Arctic Fox Yumiko isn't on it. Arctic Fox Yumiko is pretty sick, isn't it? Watching from work again, fuck the police. That's what I'm saying. I love Shiny Froakie. It's lovely to have you. I don't know if they did that. I don't know if people actually did that. Okay, let's regroup. Let's regroup for a second. So we have to make the salsa, and the salsa is going to be quite simple. We just need to char all of the ingredients that we have. We're going to blend it down, and we'll talk about the theory of doing that as well. This is something I think about and talk about all the time. So give me a second. Going to get my station set up again with a nice moist paper towel. and we're gonna preheat the broiler. And we'll begin work on the salsa. Boop. Nice wet paper towel to make sure that my cutting board lies intact and doesn't move around. Okay, that's all that. Now, take the stuff out of my oven, because there's always stuff in an oven if you live in New York. It just kind of is that way. Oh, and my music also stopped. Uh-oh. Well, we'll deal with that in just a moment. Ah, that's the beautiful, that's my carbon steel pan. This is what we're going to use for today's tortillas, to actually cook them. It gets really, really nice and hot. It's gonna be excellent. I should retouch the seasoning a little bit on some of the edges, but otherwise, it's a beautiful pan, isn't it? Seasoned this bad boy myself, and last time we used it, it was just to make the steak. Okay, setting the music again. Excellent. Look at this thing. Beautiful. Okay, that is gonna be used for the tortillas. I'm just setting that aside. And now, we have to preheat the broiler and get it nice and hot. So, let's talk about one of the most important tastes and flavors in Mexican cooking. When people think about Mexican food, and they're like, oh, what are Mexican ingredients? They say something along the lines of cilantro and tomatoes. To me, one of the most important tastes, one of the most important things that you can feel in Mexican cooking is the char, is the smokiness. Oh, excuse me. I have no idea what just happened. Is the char, is the smokiness. The chilies, yes, of course. It is about burning shit intentionally, and then being able to integrate that kind of a smoky flavor into the rest of your food. And in this case, it's going to be the charred tomatoes that are gonna go into the salsa. Don't forget to hydrate. I've been hydrating, okay? I've been doing what I need, so I've been a good noodle. And so, that's gonna be this process right now. We're going to basically have the tomatoes, some of the onions, some of the garlic, some of the chilies, and we're going to burn the shit out of it. We're going to get that top, we're going to get that skin burnt, nice and smoky. We're gonna get some of the flesh cooked through, and then some of it raw as well. And that way, we're going to develop a lot of flavor through the salsa. It's gonna be incredible. And you'll see how we do it. Did you also ask me who the man is in charge? What are you talking about? Okay. No, we're not gonna torch it, but we're gonna put it under the broiler in the oven. And it is something that not enough people use at home. You just have to know what you're doing with it, okay? So, I'm gonna grab this, just so that I can keep my little eczema paws nice and protected. I'm gonna grab some foil, because I'd rather not clean the sheet tray if I can help it. Okay. Here's the deal. Here's all we gotta do. Ready? Oh man, what do I have to do after this? Uh-oh. Maybe I should have started with the rice. It'll be okay. Okay. You could do that, but the issue is doing that with tomatoes is a little bit tricky. Because they're so wet, they just start squirting out water and then it makes a mess on your stove. So I prefer to do this under the broiler instead. So my friends, cutting all these tomatoes in half. Then we go in with our knife and we make our incisions to be able to remove the core of the tomato. You don't have to do this. I see plenty of people not do this, but I think it's a nice touch. That one didn't have a core because I didn't slice it exactly down the middle. Incision, incision, and done. Incision, incision, done. Incision, incision, done. Incision, incision, done. That's it. And now, we're going to go ahead and add some of the onion. We're gonna only need half an onion. One of the biggest mistakes that I see people do in their salsas is they have way too much of an onion presence, okay? You don't need that much, you only need half of this bad boy. Half. In fact, this onion is so big, I might even do only a third. Just a third, just like that. This should be plenty. Do I have red jalapenos? No. I will have some arbol chilies though, because I love arbol chilies. It's what I have on hand, it's gonna go great. Then, my friends, we'll go ahead and take a couple of cloves of garlic as well. And this one, we're actually gonna keep in the skin instead. We keep it in the skin so that we can protect it a little bit, because the charred garlic flavor, IMO, is not the most pleasant. Okay? So, go ahead and smush this, smash it down. Burnt garlic is gross, exactly. Wait, did I just peel it after I said... I just said I'm not gonna peel it so I can protect it. Oh, I'm not very intelligent. Okay, we're going to keep this one intact. In that case, this I'm gonna use for something else. Oh. It'll be fine. I'll just take it out once it cooks a little bit. I'll just take it out. It'll be okay. I promise. We're going to take that and we'll throw it in. And now, that should be everything that we actually need to build the salsa. We have the tomatoes, we have the onions, we have the garlic cloves as well. We're gonna do a little drizzle of oil just to help it evenly conduct the heat. Don't worry about seasoning or salting it now at this point. Just a little drizzle of oil, my friends. A little bit, okay? And that should be fine. And now we're just getting that all around everything. Just to evenly conduct the heat. Okay? That's the whole point of this. Excellent. The arbol chilies, we're not going to char it. We just want to char these components. And then when I say char, I mean like completely blackened. Okay? I want the skin on top to basically be turning, well, not turning into ash, but a couple of steps beforehand. I really do think it is essential. It's going to give everything a really, really nice smokiness, is what it's going to do. That is what really gives it the flavor and the oomph that it needs. So the broiler has been getting nice and hot this whole time. I'm going to go ahead and stick this in. And you don't have to like baby it per se, but you definitely don't want to like go outside of your house. When you have a broiler on, things tend to burn, they can catch on fire, and you have to be mindful of that. Are they dried chili peppers? Yes, they are. I'll show you right now. So, this is what I have. I have in here some of the smoky one. I think this is a chipotle. It's a little dry and stale, so I'm not sure if I want to add these in. They do kind of suck, but I have a bunch of really nice arbol chilies as well. And I want a spicy salsa, okay? So for that amount, for 3 tomatoes, we're gonna do 4 arbol chilies. Who's our special guest tonight? Whenever she comes back into the frame, I'll show you. I just have somebody special visiting, that's all. Okay. I am now contemplating, do I wanna go in with this chili too? It's a little stale. It's not the best. You know what, it'll be fine. So here's what we have to do for arbol chilies, because we don't wanna keep the seeds, okay? All we have to do, we crack it open, we get the head off, and then you just press it, open it up, and get rid of most of the seeds. If some of them remain, it's fine, but we want to really get the fruitiness and the flavor of the chili. Yeah, no seeds. No seeds. But trust me, 4 arbol chilies is going to be more than enough to get this thing really, really nice and flavorful. Okay? Open it up, get those seeds out, get all those pockets out. Excellent. And it's all going to be blended up. Excellent. That's done. And now we'll also go ahead and take this. Yeah, we'll throw this in. We'll throw this in. It'll be fine. Even if this is not the most traditional edition, what I'm basically doing is I'm just looking at what I have and being like, I should probably get rid of this because this is old. And this is just going to give everything a really nice smokiness. You can't go wrong. You can't have too many chilies in a salsa, right? You just have to use less of it at that point. We're going to go ahead and crack this open. And then we're going to inspect the inside for any big old things of seeds. Just remove them. Remove any pith. Okay, that looks fine actually. That's just fine. Ooh, this end is really dried out. Yeah, these are not the freshest. Chilies, dried chilies, they shouldn't be crunchy. They should be kind of flexible and leathery. Do you have to hydrate them? Well, yes. We're going to basically boil the salsa after we take everything out. So it's going to go into a pot with a little bit of water, and that's just to make sure everything is like evenly cooked through. So they're going to hydrate when we do that. Kind of oily too light, depending on the chili itself that you're talking about here. But generally speaking, yes. Okay, so this chili in here, it's a little dated, it's a little too old. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that now. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what the progress on these tomatoes is like. I am gonna throw these really quickly into a little pot. Throw them into a little pot with some hot water. And that is where all of the tomatoes and onions and garlic will go to. So that's gonna go in here. A little bit of the hot water that we have left over. We will need some to boil everything anyways, and we're gonna keep it all together in this one pot. That should be fine. There we go, perfect. And now, my friends, we are going to go ahead and take a look at the tomatoes, at the onions, at the garlic that we have sitting in the broiler, and we can see that there's actually not that much color being developed at this time. Oh, the kitchen does smell lovely. What it really reminds me of the cherry tomatoes. I live in a neighborhood where there's a lot of Turkish restaurants. This reminds me of the cherry tomatoes that you would see, sort of the cherry tomatoes and big peppers. So everything is kind of coming together. The only thing, I'm gonna flip the garlic itself. All that skin basically came off, but I'm just going to flip this bad boy so it's not too burnt. And now this is just going back inside. And I'm going to give this a nice little 90-degree turn. And then in a moment, all I'm gonna do is I'm going to take out the garlic cloves because they're the thing that burns first. Okay? So that's just gonna have another second to cook through, get a little bit smoky, get a little bit roasted. And then I'm gonna burn the shit out of those tomatoes and onions. And it's going to make a beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous little salsa, my friends. The beans currently have 25 minutes on them, which tells us that we're actually doing quite good for the time, which makes me happy. Pretty happy about that. I can't complain about that at all. I'm getting dehydrated today. Wow. What is going on? That's enough time for the garlic. We're gonna pull that garlic out. Is what's gonna happen. Thank you. That's plenty of time. Again, the garlic, I don't want it to be too burnt. I don't want it to be too roasted. I'm gonna get this out now and toss everything else back on in. Okay? That to me is plenty on the garlic. And everything else, we're going to basically push it as much as possible. And it's going to give us the full roasted charred flavor that we're looking for. This is going back inside, and in she goes. Beautiful. Now, let's go ahead and peel up this garlic because of course we don't need the peels. The garlic inside is nice and roasted. It's basically half cooked. Right? Oh no, get out of there. You don't want to be in the waste bowl, do you? No, you don't. Good boy. Okay. This is all roasted garlic. Excellent. This is all roasted garlic that got taken off the skin. It's not too burnt, but it definitely has some smokiness to it. And again, we're embracing all of those smoky, burnt flavors. We're not getting rid of them. We're not shying away from it. We're embracing them because that is what this dish is all about. That is what salsa is all about, okay? Yeah, that's fine. That's great. Excellent. And now, only thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of any of the butts off the garlic that are remaining because I did neglect to cut them off before they went inside. And all this is going to be blended together, so I would prefer to get rid of it now if possible. Okay, that's all going in. This end does look pretty good. This looks decent. This has to be trimmed up though. Did I just throw these into the waste bowl again? Holy shit, I'm having a day today. That is so funny. I actually just threw away my roasted garlic. On the metal sheet thingy? Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean by the graduations on it? Okay. It's one of those days, my friends. It's one of those days. The garlic has now been officially trimmed up. It's nicely roasted. It's really, really tender and sweet and a little bit smoky. And it's going in the water with all of these different chilies. Okay? We're just creating space for ourselves. Have I had tea or coffee? No. I did have 20 milligrams of Vyvanse though. That's what I did have. It's one of those days. Okay, my friends, let's go ahead and take out the roasted tomatoes again because I do smell it burning now and I want to see how far we've pushed it. We're gonna be checking on it every so often. Look at this. Look at this. That is what I'm talking about. That is what it's supposed to look like. The only thing I'm gonna do, I'm going to give the onions a little bit flip because it's standing on one side. I really only care about charring the skin of the tomato. So I don't care about charring the flesh, but I'm gonna pop that open. And that is gonna go right back inside, my friends. And it's going to finish getting all the color it needs. And then it's gonna boil for like 5 to 10 minutes or so. And that's gonna get all nicely and beautifully blended up. That's gonna be perfect. I'm excited about it. And then we'll hit it with some salt to finish, and it's gonna be a really simple salsa, okay? It's just tomatoes that we've charred, that we've burnt. We're getting a lot of sweetness out of it. We're getting a lot of flavor. We're getting a lot of smokiness. We have the onions. That's going to give us, like the cooked onions when it boils down, it really helps the texture, and it does provide the rest of the sweetness, whereas the tomatoes tend to be quite acidic. The garlic is gonna taste like garlic, and the chilies, it's gonna bring a lot of fruitiness, it's gonna bring a lot of heat, it's gonna give the salsa a lot of character. So I'm pretty excited about it. It's gonna be fantastic, in fact. We're giving that like another second or so, because at this point, it's almost done. It is almost done. In fact, I can probably pull it off now. Now is gonna be the perfect time. And you might be asking me, how do I know it's done? Intuition and also just visually looking at it. You're not looking for it to be cooked. You just want it to be burnt on the outside. That's really all that you care about. So let's take a look. That actually could use another second. I'm looking for the onions that we just flipped over to be a little bit more charred, and they'll be perfect. The beans have about 20 minutes left on them, but after the pressure cooking is done, we're gonna naturally release them so they get super, super tender and creamy on the inside. Okay. Next, we have to boil the salsa, then we have to blend it all down, and we're gonna season it with some salt. It's gonna be awesome. We have to soak the rice and wash the rice. Yes, it's the same exact idea. Yep, it's the same idea as like a roasted bell pepper, except we're not peeling it. Some people peel them after it's burned, some people don't. I don't like doing that. I like keeping all that smokiness inside. Okay, my friends. Now I am confident that we can pull this out. Perfect. This is done. And now all I'm going to do, I'm going to dump everything in here into the pot. So the tomatoes, the onions. This is not the best tool to do this. I know that, but I'm doing the best that I can under the circumstances. Okay, sweet. That's it. All that goes inside. And then we're gonna take this to a heat and we're going to boil this down. And I don't wanna add too much water because I don't wanna really dilute it or anything, right? So I'm not going to scrape the pan with this because that is, of course, some metal tongs. It would destroy the enamel that we've built. So, wooden spoon instead. That is plenty of water for it to boil in, especially because the tomatoes are going to just release more water. And this is going to come on to the boil. These are characters from Brawlhalla, one of the games that I commentate for. Okay, my friends, let's go to a heat. So, I don't think we actually need the cutting board shot, do we? Well, we might do some stuff. So, we're going to keep it inside. I'm just shutting off the broiler, shutting that off. Getting all this thrown back inside. This I can put aside for a moment as well, because all we need to do now is boil the salsa. So it's been roasted, it's developed a lot of sweetness, it's developed a lot of character. It's really beautiful stuff. And now it just has to finish cooking, and most importantly, we have to hydrate the chilies. Because those were whole dried chilies, they could get not properly blended through, unless it soaks and it cooks and gets really nice and soft at this stage. So it's pretty essential for us to do that with, okay? Tomatoes are underrated. Thank you for understanding. Okay. You can also throw the sheet tray back in here. It's fine if the oven's hot. Doesn't matter, it's not gonna warp it since it's like slowly gonna be cooling down and stuff. Now this is going. We're just gonna boil it. We're gonna soften up those chilies, and then we're gonna blend it all down. In the meantime, I'm gonna get my stick blender set up and ready to go. I love that little blue pot too. It's really cute. This is a bit of a low energy day for me. I've done a lot of errands. I've run around today. So I'm just taking a second to compose and collect myself, I suppose. Okay. That's boiling. The tortilla dough is done. The beans are going. Now we have to think about everything else. It's rainy and cold here. It sucks in New York. It is cold and unpleasant in New York as well at the moment. So that is everybody. Okay, let's get the blender set up. That's what we should do. So we're gonna use a stick blender for this because it makes my life a lot easier. Excellent. And now I'm thinking about something. I'm considering something. Let me tell you what's on my mind, brain. Let me tell you what I'm thinking about. Also, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Really appreciate it. I'm thinking about adding some oil into the salsa. Some oil would be kind of more of like a taqueria style salsa, where it makes it like really, really smooth and homogeneous. There is a little bit of oil on the outside of it, but I'm curious if we should do that. I'm pretty sure that's how they do it. That's why the texture of like salsas that you get at like, you know, places to get like tacos and stuff, it's very like smooth and silky. And to my understanding, it has a little bit of oil put in there. And I might do the same. No, but then it doesn't hold in the fridge as well. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay, I'm just getting my blender set up. This is my nice little cup blender. My nice stick blender. Just getting my station ready for it. I had to plug it into my power strip. And again, the salsa doesn't need much boiling because every component is basically cooked through. All I'm looking to do now is just soften up the chilies and reduce some of the liquid if possible, okay? Glad we're on the same page. And then we're going to soak the rice. Shit, you know what? I'll do that right now. We'll do that right now. Let's talk about the rice, my friends. So, rice time. We will be using something that we use on the stream all the time. This is called Haigu rice. I don't have the bag because I did throw it away, but Haigu rice is really exciting stuff. And anybody that's watched the stream, you're going to be very tired of this spiel, but guess what? I'm going to keep doing it again and again and again. Haigu rice is a little different from brown rice because it has both, wait, or is that the sushi rice? No, I'm pretty sure that's Haigu rice, great. Brown rice has the germ and the bran intact alongside the grain of rice. White rice has both of them polished off. Haigu rice is basically in between white rice and brown rice. And what it essentially is it has the germ of the rice still intact, which means it has a little bit more nutritional value and it has a little bit more fiber as well. I can do more rice than that. We can do about this much. That should be fine. And so I'm gonna wash it. I'm gonna rinse it off. And it's gonna be great. It has a little bit more flavor, but it has the texture of white rice to me without having like that kind of, how do I say it? Not gritty. But I don't like how brown rice is so granular and the outside has that much chew to it. So this has the texture of white rice, but a little bit of extra flavor and some more nutritional value. And that's why I'm basically using it in everything, even in, you know, non-traditional contexts like these when I'm making Mexican food. It's fine. It's just gonna work out. It's gonna be delicious when eaten with the beans. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and wash that. Let me take a second to do that. Let's get you guys to the stove in the meantime so you can watch that. I still do not have a sync camera set up, which would just be optimal in times like these. And so I guess I could show you guys what my process of washing rice looks like, because I do think it's quite important to think about it. Okay, so in regards to washing the rice, what I love doing is a little bit of a claw grip. Also, hello. Is that my little Dakota champ? It's lovely to see you. Hello, hello. It is indeed a doggy live. So, we're doing a claw grip. Think about like a little espresso tool, and we're getting into all the edges, and we're keeping your hand grip consistent. And this is how you agitate the rice. You don't want to be too aggressive because this is Haigu rice, so you might end up separating the germ from the actual, the germ from the grain of rice. I almost mixed up a bunch of different words. Did I just splash all over my cutting board? I did. Nice, that's what I'm talking about, baby. So, claw grip. Once it's nice and milky like this, then you rinse it out. Do not wash your rice in a strainer. Don't do it. You need to properly soak the rice in a bunch of water all the way around it to get a nice good clean on it, to get rid of all the extra starch, okay? If you do it in a strainer, the water is not going to properly cover the rice, and what you're going to result in is in a bunch of unevenly washed rice. It's gonna be a mess. You don't wanna do it. I don't wanna eat it. Don't do it, okay? Do it in a pot, do it in a container, and understand the speed at which you can rinse it off. Now, I'm not going to wash off all of the starch in the rice. This is gonna be for some rice and beans. I want a nice and sticky rice, okay? And so the way we do that is we leave some of the starch in and we soak it in a little bit more water than we usually do, okay? I want nice soft rice. I'll show you what that looks like. We need about this much water. That's actually a lot of water. We'll distribute it nice and even. That actually looks like just the right amount. Distribute it with using that claw grip. It gets it all nice and even. Okay? That's a lot of water, but I think that's gonna be the perfect amount for this. Now we're going to have it soak up until we're ready to cook it, okay? Haigu rice does need to be soaked, or so they say. I'm just gonna go ahead and get a lid for it in the meantime. I'm gonna kill the heat on the tomatoes. Let's go ahead and look at the stove for a second. Where is my favorite little lid? Oh, there you are. Hello, little guy. I missed you. Okay. Hi. So, everything here has boiled. The chili has softened. We've reduced some of the cooking liquid as well. And now we can begin the blending process to make ourselves a beautiful, delicious, smoky, sweet, roasted salsa. And then it's gonna chill out until we're ready to eat with it, okay? So, let's begin now. Here's what we gotta do. We gotta go over here. Go on camera. I am first going to wipe down my cutting board because I accidentally spilled some water on it. And we might have to do this in batches because the blender might not be suited to do all of that at once. So we'll see. Okay, let's begin. We're going to go ahead and ladle in plenty of good stuff for us to blend. This is the tomatoes, this is the chilies, the garlic, the onions, all together, okay? And again, don't worry about the salt. It's gonna be a lot easier to salt it after we've blended it. And I see some people, they boil their salsas in like a ridiculous amount of cooking liquid and then they drain or like waste a lot of that liquid. To me, that's complete nonsense. I'm going to use as much of that cooking liquid as possible, and that's why we boiled it in so little, so that we don't have to waste any of it. Or that we don't have to cook it so long that the whole thing becomes mush, and we've had to reduce it into oblivion just to get a good texture on it, okay? So, getting all of the salsa components into the blender cup. It shouldn't splash because this is a nice and tall vessel. Oh, fuck, that's spicy. I just licked my fingertip. That is a spicy little salsa. And then I'm going to get this beautiful woman named Natalie to try it once I'm done with it. Okay? It's gonna be great. It's gonna be excellent, in fact. So my friends, it is time for us to begin the blending process. You ready for this? You better be. If you're not, I have no idea what I'd even say to you. I'd be so disappointed. Okay. Getting all this in there. And now we can begin. Let's just go to a different camera so we can get rid of the stove. We don't need to look at the stove right now. First thing we do, we always first press it down to get rid of any massive lumps. And then, once it's buried all the way inside, we're just going. We lift it up a little bit so we can incorporate everything. Until we get a bunch of small pieces, my friends. And I want a nice smooth salsa. This is gonna be in a taco, okay? Ooh. And be careful about getting too much air in there because then the air splashes back up once it gets viscous. God, I wish that were me. No, you don't. I don't think you want to be put through a blender. I'd imagine it doesn't feel very good. Sorry for the uncomfortable imagery. To turn this into a gyro stream. I apologize. No pulp salsa, that's right. This is a taco salsa. This is going to be on tacos, okay? This is not supposed to be rustic. We want a nice, creamy, and delicious salsa. And now we keep it going. Free bottom surgery? God, you know what? Trans people have only one joke. But I'm sick of it. That was pretty funny though. I'm not that sick of it. It was fine. It was funny enough that I could get behind it. That is some good looking sauce, isn't it? This has the charred tomatoes, this has the charred onion, this has the charred garlic, this has the chilies, the arbol chili, and I believe some of the chipotle as well. It's spicy, it's beautiful. And this is gonna be for the taco, my friends. Again, you don't want it too thick, okay? You want it nice and creamy. I am pretty sure that's how you do it. I'm gonna Google this right now. I've never actually done it before. I'm pretty sure you just add in a little drizzle of oil. Right? Yeah. You do like a half a cup of vegetable oil. That's a lot. We're not gonna do that much. We're not gonna go that crazy with it. We're gonna do a little bit of avocado oil. Okay? About that much. We're gonna do that much in there. And I think that's going to give me that velvetiness that I'm looking for. Okay? You can see all the oil is pooled at the top. We just got to get it incorporated inside. And it's picking up a slightly lighter color as it goes. We might need more water because it is so thick that it's not like fully blending properly, right? It is smoky. That is the beauty of it. Whoop, I just splashed a bunch of it up. Will it emulsify? Well, I mean, you take a look for yourself. I've got a feeling it's already done it. There should be enough starches and pectins from the onions and the tomatoes to bring it together, is my understanding. Look at this. Look at this thing. Going to mix it back up. That is perfect. That is a lovely looking salsa. Yeah, look at that. Look at that oranginess it's picking up. That is kind of like that taco, like taco truck like style salsa that I'm looking for, right? Really, it's more of like an orange one at this point because we get in a little bit of oil, we get some air in there as well, and then the color does end up lightening up a little bit, but that is perfect. That is a nicely emulsified salsa. Look at that. Excellent. I think that's perfect. Let's give it a little taste. I've gotten rid of all the chunks. I've blended up all the chilies. And now we can give that a proper taste. Look at this. Ooh, perfect. It's like a little creamy soup. I mean, it basically is, isn't it? Okay. Give that a little taste. Oh, that's good. That's also quite spicy. But that's very good. It does need salt. That's the thing it's missing, right? It doesn't have any salt in it. You'd eat it with a tortilla and some cheese? Excellent. That's what I want to hear. So, big old pinch of salt, maybe some seasoning. But don't worry about fully salting it right now because the rest of the salt is going to come from the other components. A salsa is not meant to be especially salty. It's supposed to be just be spicy and acidic and fruity. Move it all around. And again, the oil, this is basically just for like that taco truck style salsa. Okay? It does, doesn't it? And now we'll give that one more taste. That's enough salt to like make it stand out now. Perfect. All right, and now I'm gonna get Natalie to try this in a second. Oh, Natalie, it is time to try my salsa. It's hot, and you're not gonna try it with anything because I don't have like a chip or anything for you to eat it on. Actually, I guess you guys can't see her at all.
Oh, good.
That's good? It's hot? Yeah. Well, it is hot. It is it is boiling because I did just boil it.
Actually,
But,
thank you.
yeah, it's good. I'm pretty happy about it. Paid actor. I may or may not have a weapon threatening her right now. Is that even TOS to joke about that on Twitch? That'd be like hilarious. Like a guy who's like, conceptually, a guy whose cooking is so bad and he's running like a cooking show that he has to like threaten people to try and they're like sobbing and crying. He's like, tell us about how it tastes. Please let my family go. It's delicious. That's that's just Jamie Oliver, yeah. That's what he's doing. God. So that's basically what I'm doing to Natalie. She's okay, I promise. Oh my God, guess what, gamers? The pressure cooker has officially made the beans. We're gonna let it naturally release over the course of about 15 minutes or so. And we're gonna work on some stuff. That sounds like a Nathan Fielder bit. God, you're so fucking great. That's so funny. That has to be a Doug cooking spin-off? What, me like holding a gun to somebody and telling them to try it? That'd be a good bit. That would actually be a really good skit. What if I got like a full camera crew for this, right? Like we're talking like high level production, okay? And it's them like trying it and them like crying. I don't know, I guess nobody would find it funny unless they were like specifically fans of me. To anybody else, they're like, why the fuck did you make this? Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the salsa one more time, my friends. Look at this beautiful thing, huh? Nice and creamy and delicious. It's gonna get spooned over the taco, okay? Oh, that's delicious. You can spoon, dude. You can eat that by the spoonful. That is actually just lovely. That is delicious. That is creamy, that is spicy, that is flavorful, it's sweet. It's got everything that you want in a salsa, my friends. Okie dokie. I'm gonna go ahead and set that aside. And now we gotta think about the tortillas. Let's get that going, my friends. The rice is continuing to soak for a little bit. I don't need this anymore, do I? I don't think I do. I'm just putting all the stuff I do not need away because this is the time to do it. So, was the rice with the beans? No, the rice. So what you're asking about is, did I make a moros rice, right? That's where like the rice and the beans, they kind of cook together. I think that's more of like a Cuban thing, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe Dominican. Correct me on that, perhaps. I'm gonna go ahead and set this aside. We're gonna get this out of the way. I'm just gonna put it on a little plate to make sure it doesn't spill over or anything. And again, we're not opening up the beans quite yet because we want the pressure to naturally release. We want tender, creamy beans. We don't want hard, individual, granular black beans. That is not what that's us. That's not what we're looking for, okay? Good. Just getting some stuff out of the way now. These scissors are done with. I need to set this aside because we do gotta chop up some cilantro in it a little bit, which is gonna be the garnish for everything. And the last steps are going to be reducing the beans down. And what else do we have to do? We have to reduce the beans and we have to just heat up the pork. The pork is already ready to go. Okay, we'll clean up our station one more time. And now, my friends, we gotta talk about the tortillas after I get rid of the blender. Again, the best time to clean is yesterday, and the second best time is while you're cooking, okay? You don't want a mess to build up in your kitchen by any means. Then it gets overwhelming and there's so much shit going on. It's the worst. It is actively unpleasant. Okay, I'm gonna set the Pokemon music to loop so that when it inevitably goes off again, it's just ready to go. Okay. Here's what we gotta do, my friends. Let's talk about our station. This is going to be a very specific process We take dough, we weigh the dough, we press the dough, then it goes onto the heat, and then it is going to go into a bowl with a towel to steam it. This is a two-step cooking process. It's not about just cooking the tortilla itself, it's about slowly steaming it to perfection. Okay? So, here's what's gonna happen. My big, beautiful, gorgeous carbon steel pan going on the heat now. I'm gonna get rid of this pot. I have no use for it. It's gonna go on the heat. You don't need any oil. Just the way it is, just the way it was intended to be. Okay? Yes, the steaming. The steaming is gonna happen in a bowl with a towel. And we're gonna set that up right now. I'm gonna show you. Here's a bowl. Actually, we'll do this size of a bowl. We'll get a kitchen towel. Do I have any suitable towels for today's job? Yes, this will do nicely. No, that's an apron. Where's my kitchen towels? That'll do. It's a clean kitchen towel. Clean kitchen towel, my friends. And you're going to line the bowl with the towel. And this is where, once the tortillas are done cooking, they're going to go in here and they're going to be wrapped back up. Okay? Very important. That is the steaming. It is basically half of the cooking process. It is essential. Yes, yep. Otherwise, it's going to be basically half raw dough. Now, we gotta talk about the rest of it. So, here's our station. Let's take a look. This is the ball of dough that we have. We're going to unravel it. We're going to test it out by just rolling it in our hands, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay? Take a look. Perfect. Nice and smooth on this edge, even with that much pressing and flattening. So I'm just gonna flip it over like this. It is a little bit damp because of the fact that it was warm, so it expelled a lot of liquid. Oh no, that's totally okay. I don't mind the questions at all. I prefer them, in fact. I like it when people ask me questions. Then we're going to keep this wrapped as we go, because you do not want this to dry out in any capacity. So remove any potential exposure or contamination if possible. Next, we have a couple of stations that we need to set up. First is going to be the weighing station. The weighing station is where we figure out how much we need because we want to make these things nice and consistent. Then we're going to have the flattening station. So here's the order of operations. We take a ball, we weigh it out. I believe last time I settled on 28 grams per tortilla, maybe 25, something like that. I should have taken notes. And then it's gonna get flattened. But before it can get flattened, we do have to set it up one more time. So what I need to do, you can do this with a plastic bag, you can do this anything you want. We take a freezer bag, okay? Something that will cover the entire surface of this. We're going to trim it up. We're just going to get rid of the top part. This might seem a little bit weird, but this is how you stop it from sticking. So again, take a look. This has to cover the full surface, okay? And it does. So we take it and we cut it off the top. It's not cutting for some reason. God help me. What is going on with you today? What is your affliction? Can we please not do this right now? There we go. Ah, it's getting stuck. This is quite annoying. I just need to trim up this bag. And it doesn't want to be trimmed. How tragic is my life? The answer is quite tragic. It is a decent freezer bag. Oh shit, did I just start cutting into the rest of it? In my own impatience? Okay, it's fine. It worked out. Now, we have to cut these edges because we need to get a nice big flat plastic sheet. Okay? Great, that's one side. And then we gotta do the other side. And in this time, the pan is getting nice and hot. You don't want it to be smoking hot. You don't want it to be cool to the touch either. I don't actually know the exact temperature that we're going for. It's kind of just trial and error, and then we decide if it's too hot or not. Ah, it's not cutting today. I'm annoyed. I get annoyed quite easily in the kitchen. It's also a bit of a clunky job. Yes, I will be pressing it in the bag because otherwise it will just stick to the... Am I just gonna get a knife to do this? Am I just gonna get a decent knife? Because, okay, that seemed to do it. I have never struggled this much with this simple of a job in my life. Sweet, we did it. We have a nice flat sheet. Perfect. And basically what's gonna happen is we're gonna flatten it, okay? Then it gets placed over the top and then it goes. So this is ready to go. And now it is time to begin the process of doing the tortillas. So here's what happens. We take a little ball. We're going to weigh it. I can already tell you right now what's in my hand. You guys wanna see if I'm gonna be right? We'll see if I'm right. Set it to grams. Actually, I don't know if you guys can see the display at all. I don't think you guys can. Okay, that is 25 grams exactly on my first one, or rather 25.5. We're going to start with a 25 gram ball and see if that's any good for us for today's purposes. We're going to cook it and then we're going to adjust. This is the kind of a thing, because you're repeating it so often, you will just make a lot of adjustments, and your first tortilla, just like your pancakes, is always going to be shitty, okay? So here's what happens, my friends. Take this, you're going to center it nice and flat. You're going to cover it with the freezer bag. Then you're going to gently place this over the top. And then, if you press this too fast, you're going to get thin edges. It's super important that you press this slowly, all the way down. If you press it too fast, you will get uneven edges. You'll get thin parts and you'll get thick parts, okay? Take a look. This is our first one. Then we give it a little rotation. So what this has told me is I didn't center the bag correctly. All I'm going to do now is just give this another little press. Just like that. And that should be one of the tortillas. And I'm going for really, really miniature ones. This one is a little bit uneven on some of the edges, but it's okay. So my friends, let's go ahead and get this over to the stove. The pan should be nice and hot now. And you're going to just slide that bad boy on. And to flip it, look, dude, I am not a grandma. In no universe am I going to be able to flip that with my hands. I have a fish spatula, okay? It's fine. It's not going to make a worse product by any means. So, we're going to be looking for some puffing once we flip it. That is going to be the telltale sign that we've made a perfect tortilla. If it doesn't puff, then we fucked up. Okay, well, it actually doesn't matter that much. But you might be asking me, oh, Daramgar, how much time does this need to be on the stove? I have no clue. I do not know. It might be a minute, it might be 2, it might be less. We'll figure it out. We'll take a little peek at the bottom. In the meantime, I'm going to weigh a second little ball of dough. What is that? Ooh, 23 grams. Oh, you're a little bit small, buddy. 27? We'll go with 27 once we see what this tortilla looks like. I have a feeling that tortilla is going to be a little bit small, because if I remember correctly, 28 grams was the one that it landed on. That was 27 and a half. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at the tortilla. Let's see what's happening. Ooh, that is definitely overcooked on that side. I can tell because the edges have dried up and it charred too much on the bottom. Okay, that's totally fine. That's our first tortilla. And is it going to puff? Are you going to puff for me? Are you going to be good for Daramgar? You want to be a good boy? You want to puff? You're not going to do it, are you? It's not going to puff, is it? Oh, I see some leavening. I see some of it happening. And don't worry about being too dry at the stage. It's going to get a lot better as it steams. Okay, I see some puffing on some of the edges. So actually, oh, we might be based. We might be in business. I think it's actually puffing the way that it needs to. I think I cooked it for a little too long on that first side. Oh, that is way too much exposure on the camera, isn't it? It's not adjusting. It's way too bright. It doesn't want to adjust today. Okay, I think I cooked it too much on the first side because the edges ended up curling up. So that is the first adjustment that we have to make. Otherwise, it did go pretty okay. Except it's not puffing. I know exactly why I did that. And the heat on top of all of that is way too hot. So we're gonna tone down that heat and we're gonna leave it for less time on that first side. That's it. Otherwise, this is the tortilla that we've just made. And it's not done at this stage. It does have to steam in order to actually get flexible and pliable. But I know now what I have to do to make this next one a lot better. So we turn down that heat. That was way too hot. in my opinion. We're going to take this little ball of dough, roll it into a nice even ball. I could have maybe pressed it thinner too while I was at it. Decisions. A lot of decisions to make with this kind of thing, okay? And now, we lay this down nice and even, all the way on top, just like so. Put this on. And we press this. Well, thank you for stopping by, Saren. Lovely to have you, as always. Press that down. Oh, shit. We didn't actually center it nearly as well as we could have. That ended up getting fucked up. And again, because this isn't the kind of a dough that has any gluten in it, you don't have to worry about over mixing it. You can just take it and ball it back together and try again, okay? So don't be afraid to do that. Only thing you have to worry about is it drying out. And as long as it's kept in plastic, that should not be a concern. All right, let's try this again. Press it down slightly this time and get it nice and flat. Give a nice little rotation. Still kept within the plastic. Nice and thin. Perfect. And now, let's see how this tortilla comes out. This one is looking a lot better. Look at that. Onto the heat it goes. Great. And that, if we did it correctly, we're going to leave that for less time. I will hydrate. I'll do it. I just want to measure out my next ball of dough first. We're going to take a peek at the bottom, okay? Before it cooks too much this time. We were way too generous. We were way too lenient last time around. This is what? 22 grams? We're going to go back to 28. That should be right at 26. 28 and a half, perfect. I'm going to go ahead and cover this in plastic, and then I'm going to give that a little flip now, because I am just adjusting as I go. That is looking a lot better. That looks significantly better. I don't know if you guys can tell. Can you guys see that well? Maybe we should do it like this. Sorry, mild technical difficulty for a second. Yeah, this doesn't look right. And it's not puffing nearly as much as it could. I might have still overcooked that first side. We'll have to keep on adjusting. Ah, that camera looks so bad. You guys can't actually see what's going on. Look how much exposure, look how much light it has. That is better now. But then I take it off and it's gonna get adjusted. Hello, it's lovely to see you. Hope you're doing well today. Let's see. Is it gonna puff? Or is it too dry on the bottom? I might have still overcooked the bottom. Is what I'm suspecting, because it browned really, really fast. You guys can kind of see. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed. There's not a lot that I can really do about it at the moment. I'm just gonna flip it back over to that side. See how that's going. It's not puffing much. Well, no, it's starting to a little bit. I don't know what I can do. Ooh, look at that. That's what we call a puff, my friends. Okay, that side is puffing just fine. Look at it, can you see it inflate? That's what we're talking about. Now we'll flip it right back there for a second. That's the kind of inflation that I want to see. I think I'm still overcooking that first side. The edges look like they're puffing. That one really did puff through the center. And that, my friends, was accomplished all without the need of any additional leaveners. So, I just needed a smaller heat and everything would have been fine the whole time. Okay, that is a lot better. That is, in fact, I think really close to a perfect tortilla. Look at this. Look at this. Homemade, huh? Perfect. But it's not done cooking. It has to steam. Otherwise, it'll be way too dry. It has to steam. Without a question. Okay. I understand a little better now. We gotta take them off even faster than we were before and flip them, so they can properly cook on that second side. So, back to the pressing, my friends. Something like this. How tall are you? 6'2"? Yes. How am I steaming them? They're in a bowl with a towel over them. Press them on that side, and then go back in to make sure it's nice and even. Let's take a look. Perfect. I'll show you the bowl. This is going on the heat though. Not the best contact, but that's okay. Let's weigh out my next portion of dough. That's right, I'm 6'2" in a world where everybody is 7 foot. How terrible my life is. Great play-by-play casting on the cook, why thank you. So, let me show you, my friends. This is the bowl with the tortillas. So my edges are a little bit dry. It's telling me that it's still a little overcooked, but it still just has to steam. There's a special guest, yes, there is indeed. You'll see her in a moment. Okay, that's done. We're going to flip that over now. We're going to see how it fares if we just flip it over that early. And I think what's happening is, because I'm overcooking it on the first side, the edges get too dry and the center is not coming into full contact with the pan nearly as much as it should or could. So we're gonna give that a try now. Let's go ahead and give this a nice little press. Is that puffing at all? Well, we'll find out in a moment. That might not be too cold. Again, this is just the process of making tortillas. I'm still quite new to it. I've only begun this year. And it's probably going to be a lifetime of adjustment and understanding of why it happens the way it does. Nice and slowly to get a nice and even tortilla. All the way down, like so. Lovely. It's a little bit misshapen as a result of just the plastic wrap, but it's gonna be okay, I promise. We're gonna do the same thing to this side. Put it down now and flatten it. Okay, what do we got? A little misshapen, but that's okay. I don't mind that much. That side did cook a little better this time. What happens now? Is it gonna puff? I guess we'll find out. What happens if you don't have plastic? It's just gonna stick. Have I ever been at Canada? No, I've never, well, I guess once when I was a lot younger, but not in my like recent adult years. I've ever been to Canada. Can you guys see that puffing? I can see it puffing. This needs to be pressed again. It's a little too thin for me. Let's see what happens if we press it paper thin. Okay, this is now a fully puffed and cooked tortilla. That looks a lot better. We got a full puff this time. It's good. No. The oil is not going to conduct it the same way. Tortillas, corn tortillas, they're not really meant to be made with oil. You can, but the texture just changes, okay? My hands are plenty big enough to press the tortilla. So this one is actually quite misshapen. Don't totally know why, but guess what? It'll make do. And now we just have to go through this one by one, my friends. Let's go ahead and weigh out the next one. Once again, we're looking for anywhere from like 25 to 27 grams. I think 27 is gonna be my sweet spot for today. Or 28 rather. Country girls make do, that's right. Ball it up, roll it up. You know what, because most of the work is happening over here, we're just gonna go to this camera. And now, we're gonna wait a second and we're gonna give this a nice little flip, okay? Perfect that time. I think that's the exact amount of cook that I want on it. And now my friends, take a look. Look at this. Look at this tortilla. Look at the way that it's puffed up inside. You can see the air bubbles. That is perfect. That looks gorgeous. Oh, is it gonna puff without a second flip this time? I guess we'll find out. Okay. Get this going. And again, guys, it has to stay in that bowl with the towel on it for it to fully cook through. The worst thing that you can do is ignore that step, okay? It's essential. How many cameras do I have? 3. Look at that. That is the beginning of a special little tortilla. Now we'll press this bad boy one more time. Nice and heavy, but nice and slow. Now we'll take a look at this. How's this coming along? What happens if I flip it to this side? Is it gonna puff? Oh, it's puffing. I could have kept it longer, I think. But the whole thing is puffing this time. Dalia, this is thrilling. Are you guys entertained by this? Is this not boring to all of you? I'm glad you find this entertaining. Oh, you should get a baguette. What do you mean raw? Is it like unbaked? Okay. Oh, hello, Aiken. Hope you're doing good today. Whoa, this guy's puffed up. Perfect, that's what it looks like. Excellent. That should be done. I am still really unevenly cooking it, but look at the puff. Look at the puff. Look at this. Oh, it's hot. Only thrilling because I'm doing it? No, that's very sweet of you to say. I hope to be teaching it. That's what I want to do with it, right? Okay. Next one comes off. This one's a little thick on the edges, I think. Yeah, that's way too thick on the edges. I think I could just make these smaller and it'll fix my problem. Guys, I'm telling you, these might be the best tortillas I've actually done yet, which I'm very, very happy about. And the last step is going to be, we're just going to reduce the beans in just a moment, okay? But right now, I'm going to focus on this. Okay. I could have gone harder. How's that? That's a lot better. You don't want these too thick. Oh, shit. Oh no, what happened to my camera? Did I just fuck it up? There we go. Do you think I will go on amore? Okay, first of all, I'd let this sit on this side for too long, I think. No, it's perfect. I got paranoid. I got a little too protective. Guys, these might be the best tortillas I've actually done yet. Yeah, so if they're misshapen at this stage, I have a feeling it's only because I'm pressing them way too fast. The slower I press it, the more even it gets. Now, as for the elongation, that has to do with the original shape of the ball and where you center it. Where did I buy the tortilla press? I have no clue. This was actually purchased like 7 or 8 years ago. And I've only gone around to making tortillas in the last year or so. Okay. Let's see. Perfect, 28 grams now. And now I'm just gonna wait. You know what? I might just pre-ball these and just keep them wrapped in plastic. That might be a little bit more efficient than what I was doing before. Having them pre-weighed might just save me a little bit of time. Okay. It's not puffing because I didn't flip it back to this side yet. Once it's, and I think my edges were too thick. My edges were way too thick on that one. I'm not pressing it thin enough. Yeah, it's just way too thick. That's all that happened. But now it's doing its thing. Oh, I did not, no worries, I did not forget. It's puffing now. It's quite a few variables, isn't it? When you guys realize this is actually just 2 ingredients, but there's so much that goes into it, it's pretty crazy. And now, my friends, take a look. Look at this. Look at this stack. Look at this stack of tortillas, huh? Look at these beautiful things. Flexible. The top one is not so much, but the bottom ones, look how flexible this is. Flexes like a flour tortilla, but it's all corn. And that's because of the steaming, my friends. That's because of the steaming. Simple food can be beautiful. Okay. Next tortilla. Yes, these are for little tacos. These are for like little street food style tacos, okay? Now, the next one should be ready to go. This is going to be a slightly long one. Okay. We'll get it going. I think I can do a slightly larger heat again. Nice even contact all the way through. Let's go ahead and press this bad boy. Wait, what do you mean, can you over-steam them? No, you can't. They're gonna just sit in that basket until they're warm, and once they stop being warm, they're just gonna be cold. So don't overthink that process. You just need to make sure they're insulated enough, okay? That is what that should look like. And now, slowly, all the way down and get it nice and thin. Perfect. Center it. Oh no, what the fuck happened? How'd it get so long? Well, we'll have to reevaluate that one in a second. This one I'm gonna give a little flip. I might just redo this entire one. That is way too uneven for me, even for my standards. Before flipping, you want to cook them on one side for 30 seconds at least? What do you mean? I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Make balls again? Well, hold on. Let me see how this one's going. Ooh, this one actually might be one of the nicer ones. I think I'm hitting my sweet spot with temperature this time. Oh, dude, look at these. Look at these tortillas. Look at them. That's what I'm talking about. Natalie, have you seen these tortillas? Have you seen them? Look at them. Look at them. It's a good taco, isn't it? It's gonna make a great taco. Okay. I might have actually let this one slide for too long, uninterrupted. Yeah, that bottom, What's happening is the edges around it are kind of curling up, and I don't know why. Gotta think about it some more. Okay. Let's go ahead and try to press this out one more time. Natalie is not a dog's name. It's not. Melissa, what does that mean? People name the dogs human names all the time. I don't think you've said that loud enough for anybody to hear you. But in case anybody wanted to hear that, she said, I'm not a dog, I'm just a furry. And I'm actually the opposite. I'm not a furry, but I am a dog. I hope that helps. Dog is a dog's name? That's right. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Press it nice and flat. Beautiful. Let's take a look at my creation. Excellent. Looks great. Let's center it. Make sure it doesn't slide. And press it nice and flat. Dog is his work's name? So true. Okay. Now we're back. We're back in Puff City. We're puffing. Oh yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Great. Now I'm puffed. We're back in business. We're doing okay. I'm just getting my, you know what? I'm just still overcooking my edges. That's all that this is. But look at this. Look at this tortilla. Perfect. Into the steaming basket you go. Don't put me in a basket. That's what it said. Not me. That was the tortilla talking. Magical things happen on the stream. Live. Okay. Next one going on. Yeah, I'm not a furry, I just have a persona. There's a difference. Okay, I am going to release the pressure on my pressure cooker. All right, big boy, you want to vent for me? Well, we'll give it a second. Actually, did it clog? Why did it not vent? No, it's perfect. Oh, dude, those beans look incredible. Oh shit, did I forget about this one? Almost. Huh? You smell it? Yeah, the smell really hits you. Okay. The beans, oh, dude, those beans, they look incredible. Everybody, we gotta set them on to saute them. We gotta set them on the saute section function on the pressure cooker because we need to reduce the cooking liquid. Is that pan at max heat? No, it's on like a low medium heat. Like so. It's a really high burner. It's a carbon steel, so it's holding on to a lot of heat. Dude, this looks incredible. Okay, I'm going to just set it to saute. Lovely. Dude, those beans look incredible. Okay, what the fuck am I doing with this tortilla? What am I doing with you? Should I just have a really cranked up heat? Wow, do you do like your tortillas on like a blazing hot thing? Oh, look at the puff on that. Natalie, come here. Natalie, look at the puff on this thing. Look at that puff. You ever seen a puff like that?
That's a big boy.
That's a big boy. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you guys exactly what that looks like. You can take this off with your hands. Look at this puff. Look at this puff. Oh, it's already deflated by the time I picked it up. Try doing one at max heat and flip it after 30 seconds. I'm going to trust you. But this is actually the nicest one I've made so far. So I kind of like how that one just came out. You're telling me, have I just been doing way too low of a heat this whole time? I've always been doing like slightly smaller one. And now my friends, oh, I wish I could show you the beans right now. But I can't without lifting up this entire pot. And I need it to reduce at the moment. Oh. Natalie, do you smell those beans? It looks great. Okay. Let's flatten the next one. Okay, I'm gonna try what you just said to me about doing it on max heat. I don't know if I believe you fully, but I'm gonna trust your input because I'd love to help. I wonder if the edges are drying up because I'm doing it way too low and slow. You might be right. Let's test it out. This is the time to experiment. It's a carbon steel pan. We can crank up that heat. It'll be good. And then all we're gonna do for the pork, we're just gonna heat it up in a little pan. It'll be lovely. Oh, this one might have been fucked up. This one got slightly fucked up. It's because of the positioning of it mostly. Okay. Give this a little rotation. Oh, those beans are cooking, my friends. Those beans are going. Okay. That tortilla is ready to go. We're going to give this another second to preheat. I'm going to stir the beans. Oh, Natalie, do you smell that? You know what that's the smell of? Yeah, you'd be correct. It is the smell of beans. We might also finish it with some oregano after, but at the moment, this is just cooking. It looks good. Okay, that might be heated up enough. We'll see. And then we're just going to heat it up more later. I'm going to take your input. I don't normally take too much chatter advice because nobody's ever given me good ones. You might have been the first. You might have been the first. And I'm going to trust your input. Okay? 30 seconds, you say. We'll wait 30 seconds. I'll have a sip of water. Oh, shit. I should cook the rice. Oh, man. I forgot about that completely. All right. That does have more of the iconic look, doesn't it? Well, we'll see. Maybe I should have a timer on my phone. I might be really bad at this. 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. I don't think it's gonna puff. 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi, 9 Mississippi, 10 Mississippi, 11 Mississippi, 12 Mississippi, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now let's puff in a little bit. 22, 23, 24. Flip it again. Yes, flipping it again will yield that. Look at those edges. Those edges are way too dark. That is puffing on that side. It's going to do that. It's always done that. But is this going to give me more of the taste that I'm looking for? I wonder. Yeah, that's puffed. That did it. That did what it needed to, right? I'm going to flip it one more time on that side so it's not uneven. Hello, hope you're having a lovely day. Okay, that did get a really good puff on it. And actually, that does look great. But it does have the burnt edge look. A little bit more so. Which actually might just be fine. This actually might just be the best one I've made so far. You gave me good advice, didn't you? You, I know what you are. Okay. I'm gonna mix up the beans because it's going to get nice and viscous at the bottom. So you don't want it to burn with anything. I'm just taking out some of the bay leaves as I go. That heat is blazing hot though. That is really, really hot. And again, a carbon steel is really good for this, isn't it? Yeah, I think you actually gave me good advice. Be proud of yourself. There's lots to be proud of there. All right, you're right. I was doing it on a medium heat this whole time. And I wonder how the texture of these will actually compare. Thank you, by the way. This is very sweet of you. You don't want to wait too long after the flip. I always thought moderate heat for these would be kind of optimal, but maybe I'm proving wrong here. It happened. I do appreciate this, by the way, quite heavily. Because in my mind, I just feel like it won't cook enough. If it's that quick. Do I play games? Yes, I play The Binding of Isaac. A lot of Isaac. A lot of very successful attempts at The Binding of Isaac. I'm really good at it. Okay. That is the next pressed tortilla. A little bit uneven, but it's okay. We're going to wait 30 seconds. Oh, shit. It got torn up. It's over. I'm going to have to ball this up again. Let's ball it up. Oh, yeah. Beans are going. Natalie, do you smell that pot of beans? Yeah? Not a tortilla expert? But you guys have chapati. Yeah, I am quite familiar with chapati. But I just don't know, is the theory with chapati the same as it is with tortillas? Oh, that one's actually quite round. That's nice. Nice and slow. Great. Let's see what that looks like. Lovely. That's a lot better this time. Excellent. Let's lay this out. Okay, we're gonna give that 30 seconds, right? 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi, 9 Mississippi, 10 Mississippi, 11 Mississippi, 12 Mississippi, 13 Mississippi, 14 Mississippi, 15 Mississippi, 16 Mississippi, 17 Mississippi, 18 Mississippi, 20. Give that 25 seconds. How's that sound? Okay? Yeah, so you see, it's just the edges that are getting burnt on these, which is not really what I'm looking for out of it. That's not kind of the color I want. Okay, the rice is going though. Turning down that heat. It was brought to a boil, dropped to a simmer. Cook that for 15 minutes. 2 Mississippi. That's a lot. You ate your dinner just now and you're still hungry? Such is reality. Such is how it goes sometimes, doesn't it? I have a feeling this is too hot. That's my guess right now. I think we're way too hot right now. I think it's cooking the edges before it's cooking the inside. Granted, when it does puff, it's a lot easier to cook the center because it does just pick up the edges with it, doesn't it? So it's just able to get like that center cook on it this time. But I have a feeling, oh, but this isn't, corn tortillas you don't do with flour at all. Corn tortillas you do not do with flour. Well, with oil, excuse me. Corn tortillas are just straight corn and pan. Yeah, this one's a little brutal. That's not what I'm looking for. The edges are a little too dark. Char is nice on it, don't get me wrong. But actually the one before, this one was pretty ideal. I think it might be too hot now. That's all. This one came out really excellent, actually. I have a feeling it's too hot. I think it's too hot. Ooh, that pan is hot too. Ow, that handle was, I can't believe it. Ooh, guys, these beans, they look incredible. The chorizo, everything in it. I can't wait to show you what that looks like in a little bit. It looks great. You guys can hear the bean bubbling? I suppose you can. It's great. It's really exciting stuff. Okay. I gotta find a way to make these even thinner is the only thing. Get that down nice and even. Haciendo tortillas, mija? You just said to me what? I used to speak Spanish for 7 years. You said to me if I'm making tortillas, right? Haciendo? And the answer is sí in that case. Okay. This tortilla should now be ready to go onto the flat top. I think 25 seconds was a little bit much. So we'll do 20 seconds this time on that kind of a heat that we had before. Lovely. The edges on that one are still a little thick. I'm just gonna set a kitchen timer for 20 seconds because I'm tired of trusting my own intuition on this. So this one is gonna be set to 11 seconds now because I'd give that 9 seconds of me just talking and rambling. Oh, hello beans, how are we doing today? Oh, that's getting nice and thick, isn't it? Yep, all that bean liquid is reducing. And guess what? The tortilla is ready for the flip. Oh no, what happened at the bottom? Oh, I scraped up the bottom incorrectly. Stop. Cancel. 15 seconds now, please, then thank you. I accidentally scraped up. Ooh, what happened to my structure on the tortilla? Did I just destroy it? I think I've actually just been overcooking these. Okay, cancel. 20 seconds goes by faster than I think it does, is all that's going on here. I think my own internal clock is just terrible. Yeah, that's gonna puff, isn't it? You're gonna puff. Puff. Good boy. The beans are almost done, my friends. It's getting to the right viscosity now. It's cooking through. It's looking beautiful. This will give another little flip. I think I ruptured one of the edges so it didn't flip too evenly. I like scraped up the bottom. Wanted to make handmade tortillas since I was 14. So I have a question. I have a question too, actually. If you've been making tortillas since you were 14, what temperature do you usually do on your pan? Because the way I learned it was always like a moderate heat. I never learned it on a super high heat or anything. So I am curious what your perspective on this is. Because it is to my understanding that chapati would be done on like a really, really high heat. As one of the chatters suggested that my heat was like too low the whole time. So I'm curious what you have to say on the matter. Because I have a feeling that right now my heat is just too high. It's not a debate. I just want to be able to make better stuff, right? I want to be able to have a better product. Okay. We're looking for, once again, around 28 grams or so. That is my ideal size of a tortilla. That's fine, that's perfect. Okay. Round this up. Turn to a ball. And then the only thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to slap the pulled pork onto a pan after all this. And let that heat back up. Okay. But yes, I would love to have your perspective. I hope you didn't leave, because that would be a very big shame. Let's even this up now. Okay, how's that? That's a good looking tortilla. Medium high on a normal gas stove. Interesting. I might have actually just been doing it way too cold this whole time. Excellent, that's good. How's my beans looking? Beans are looking amazing, really, really thick. I'm actually going to stop the heat on that. I should have set a timer. And guess what? I, Daramgar, have neglected to do so yet again because I'm a silly little guy, aren't I? With a flat pan, yeah. That's the way I learned to do it too. I learned how to make tortillas when I was in Mexico City, right? But how long would you typically do it per side, is my question to you. Because my feeling is, with something that's like this, if I'm doing it like super high heat for 30, 20 seconds each side, it might not actually cook through all the way, is where I'm at. So I'm curious where you stand on that. And at what point does it puff? Do you flip it again to puff it? Because I've seen it puff only on the first flip when you put it on the second side for the first time. Like now it's puffing, now it's steaming through, right? But I feel like I should be able to do that without needing to flip it again. That's just my theory. my thought at the moment. Okay. My scale broke for a second. It's all fine. We're back in business. Ooh, that's been on there for way too long. My bad. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to forget about you. Oh, that actually does look great. That does look wonderful. That's pretty good. Okay, I'm not too upset about that. Medium high should have been what I was doing the whole time. Okay. I'm curious, can I scrape up any of like, ooh, ew, that was a bad sound. I was curious if I could scrape up any of the burnt bits of flour on the bottom, but don't worry about it. Okay. Next ball, going down now. Let's get it. Get this bad boy on, get it going. God, Natalie, I cannot wait to feed you. I'm excited to give you these tacos. Okay, that's one side. And then on to the next. It keeps sliding around. That has to do with my plastic, probably, in the way of sending the dough. No, that's corn flour. This is just maseca. This is just maseca and water. Keeping it very, very classic and simple here. Okay, next one it goes. Lovely. But I feel like it should be puffing without me needing to like flip it like 2 times to do that. I forgot to set my timer again. It's over for me. Did you do it for me, babe? When I put it on? Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're actually crazy for that. Is it 20 seconds yet? Thanks. I'm gonna flip it at 30 actually, but without me saying anything, you just set it on? That was so sweet of you. Okay, is it at 30 yet? I don't know. Corn can actually really, really flip. Okay, can you set the timer again, please? Thank you for micromanaging this for me. I do appreciate this heavily. You will be rewarded with some delicious rice and beans. And tacos, of course. Oh, I need to taste these rice and beans. I need to taste the beans, excuse me. They look incredible at the moment. Hey, Natalie, come here. Wait, actually, what's the timer? It's 21? Okay. Thank you. You know, I didn't know that was the case until you said that, so thank you. I really appreciate that little detail. Okay, I'm gonna wait for that tortilla to come off, and then I'm going to feed you on camera, and you're gonna be like, oh, Daramgar, oh, it's so delicious, it's so good. It's gonna be great. Okay. Okay. That should be done on that side. 45 seconds to 50. Whoa. That's quite long, isn't it? Compared to what we were talking about before. I feel like my stove is too hot. That is fine though. Let's go ahead and take this bad boy off. Ow, I just hurt myself. That's fine. That's part of the process. Okay, Natalie, you want to try some of the beans? I'm going to give you some of the beans. Okay?
Think about these beans.
You thinking about those beans? All right. Do you want to come try it on camera or off camera?
It's kind of cringe.
Sorry for making you into content. That's fine.
Oh, that's hot. Oh, those are good.
Those are good. Those are good beans. That's what I'm talking about. I'm pretty proud of those beans.
A little bit of chorizo.
Right? The chorizo, the beans, it's just great together, isn't it? It's the best. It's exciting stuff. Okay, we have very little dough to actually go through. God, Vyvanse is the best for doing tortillas. You really can't go wrong with it. It just does, it does it for you. Okay. So, next one going on now. We have about 2 more tortillas left to make. And then we will be done, my friends, with a big old fat stack of tortillas, and we'll heat up the pulled pork that I made last time. It's gonna be great. You guys with me? You guys still sticking with me through this entire process? I understand that this has been a little bit monotonous, but we had to go through it. We just had to get it done. So I appreciate you guys for sticking around for it. You want Dolly in the Zelda movie? What does that mean? I'll be Link? Yeah, I'd be a great Link. Can we please get Nintendo on this? It's been wonderful. Dakota, it's been wonderful having you. It's really nice to see you. Oh, okay, so you're doing it out of fresh masa, right? You're not doing it out of dried masa. I don't have any fresh masa available to me, but I did want to try making some on my own, because you can nixtamalize at home. Okay, that is the best looking tortilla I have so far. And of course, it's the one that is, I'm just about to be done with the process. Okay, are you watching this like a hawk? Thank you. Okay, it's on. Take it off. We're gonna pull this at 30 seconds. This should be enough for 2 tortillas if I weigh this right. And I will weigh it right. Yes, 26 grams. That was a nicely shaped one. It's always the last one that I make that is that nicely shaped. I'm pissed. This always happens. Huh? Flip time? Thanks. So we're flipping this at what, 35 seconds now? Is that what we're doing? 35? All right. Let's go ahead and roll this up. Center this bad boy. Press it down so it doesn't slide around. Get this on there. Okay. Just to round it out. That's perfect. Okay. Give that a little flip. Oh, the rice is about to be done too. Everything is all coming together. It's all coming together. Oh, gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. I have seen people do that before, actually. I have seen that. Okay. How are my beans looking? Oh, dude, those beans look fucking great. I'm excited about those. That might be overcooked. That one just might be overcooked. That's fine though. Yeah, a little too crunchy. That's okay. All right, 2 more tortillas left to be made, my friends. The rice is also done, so we're going to fluff the rice. We're going to take it off the heat really quickly. And I'm going to move it around with some chopsticks. And the rice, I'm just basically doing it like Asian style in terms of like I'm keeping it intentionally bland because the beans it's going to be with are going to be super flavorful. Natalie, I cannot see you when you motion to me, so let me know when it's been 30 seconds. Okay. The rice is done. It's been fluffed through. That is just going to chill out and rest. Is it ready? Flip time? Yeah, that's definitely too long. We'll do like 25 seconds or so. All right, last one, my friends. Last one. This is like my 7th time, I think, doing tortillas. I was like, I want to be able to make this a consistent staple of the home. I want to be able to like constantly have like a nice fresh stack in my fridge to be able to go ahead and do things with. Flip time? God, I am so bad with my sense of time. I did not believe that that was like 20 seconds or so. Wow. Thank you. You're actually a lifesaver right now. Ooh, I pressed that way too fast, didn't I? But it's fine. This one's tiny, so it's okay. Okay. Is she puffing? Is she going? The answer is kind of. Just move it around for a second. You're doing beautifully, believe me. You know what? I don't think that's that might be the first time anybody in chat has ever reassured me. So that was actually very, very sweet of you. Thank you. I appreciate that a bunch. Okay. Ow, that's hot. Look, dude, this is how I'm trying to develop my chef fingers. My poor, dainty, feminine hands are struggling. Okay? They're so petite and feminine. It's tough out here. It's actually not. I'm doing fine. Huh? Yeah, that's right. All right. Oh, dude, that is a beautiful stack of tortillas. And now we have finished. Last one going on now, my friends. Natalie, hit it. Let me know when it's 25 seconds. I want to try a 25-second one and what that will entail for us today. We've done it, my friends. We've made a big fat stack of tortillas, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at that in just a moment. I'll show you this bad boy in a second. It's flip time. Oh, that's perfect. That's what that's going to look like. That's great. I can tell that little tiny spotting in the center. That is what I'm looking for. And I wasn't getting that with the others because I think I burnt the edges too much. It's always the last one that you end up perfecting it on. Okay, camera, I'm going to need you to fix your exposure. Come on, be a good boy for me. Be a good boy. Fix your exposure. Come on. You know what to do. It's not going to fix, is it? It's over. 25? Is it already 25? This happens every time to me. And now, that should be a good old flip. That should be a good old puff. That's a good puff. You guys can't see it because of the camera exposure, but it's a good puff. All right. We have a couple of final touches to do. I'm going to just flip this over so that the center of it can cook through. That's what I'm really concerned about. And that should be done. That is done, my friends. We have now accomplished a big, beautiful, fat stack of tortillas, and now it's just going to steam. Oh, dude, that is great. Okay, I'm putting this away. I'm putting this aside. We have a couple of things that we need to do. Number one, we have to reheat the pork. Did the camera exposure fix itself as soon as I took the tortillas out? I'm losing my mind right now. I'm going to... I have mean things to say, and I'm not going to say it, because I'm nice, okay? I'm nice. Me with like a gun pointed at you. Okay. My friends, my lovely little pog champs, that's you. We are going to go ahead and take a look at the tortillas that I just made. I'm putting this bowl into the sink so that this can properly soak in water. Let's have a little recap. Let's have a little recap for a second, okay? Oh, interesting. I might not have actually cleaned that off before. My friends, let's look at the stack of tortillas that we've made. Oh, I'm so proud of this. Look, look. Look at my tortillas. Look at these things. Bam, bam, bam. That's a lot of tortillas. You know what that means? Huevos con churros in the morning. That's what that means. I love huevos con churros. It's my favorite. Look at this thing, huh? That is what I'm talking about. Bam. One of those was a little too thick though, but that's okay. Oh, now steam, my son. You're gonna steam. You're from Costa Rica, by the way? Well, I really appreciate your expertise and your advice. I really appreciate it. Okay, my friends, I don't need to wash the spatula. It basically just made contact with like cooked dough, right? I'm gonna put this away. We gotta chop some stuff up. And then we get to plate our beautiful tacos. So let's have a little recap. The rice has officially steamed. I'm putting away dishes while I'm talking to you. The rice has officially steamed. We have made this beautiful salsa, okay? We've made the pot of beans. It's time to show you what my beans look like. Natalie, are you thinking about those beans? You're thinking about those beans. You should be. You should be. My friends, take a look at these beans, huh? Look at these beans. Look at these black beans. With the chorizo, with the sazon, with the bouillon, with onions and bay leaves and garlic. Oh, it smells gorgeous. That is a big, beautiful pot of beans. Is what that is. Oh, dude, that looks so good. Oh man, that's great. Natalie, are you hungry? Are you still full from the pizza?
I can't eat.
We're gonna do like 2 tacos each in that case. Okay, now let's do the final stuff. The final stuff is gonna be really, really simple. All I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna reheat the pulled pork that I have, that I made the other time. And the pulled pork was done with like cumin and oregano and a couple of other things. So it already has like plenty of flavor in it. I'm just gonna slap that onto the heat. And I'm gonna dunk my pulled pork in there. And we're gonna chop up some cilantro and lime. Okay. There's a sauce to try in Costa Rican food. Please do. If you're not in my Discord, you should join it. I don't know if you're in my Discord or not. So again, this pulled pork, it looks a little bit dry right now, but I promise you, it's just because all the broth has gelatinized in it. It was cooked with oregano, it was cooked with orange, it was cooked with cumin. It has a lot of flavor in it, okay? That's so good. Okay, even cold like that, it's perfect. And all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do a little splash of water in it, just so it doesn't dry out as it just reheats. Little splash of water. And I'm gonna put a lid on it. And now the final prep is just going to be chopping up the cilantro for the garnish. So I'm actually just going to repurpose. No, that lid is way too tiny. Sweetie, in that second, oh, are you gone? I got it. It's fine. Okay. This little tiny lid right here. Even if it's too big for that, it's gonna be fine. Thank you for the refill. That was very sweet of you. Lisano sauce. Okay. Thank you for the recommendation. I might actually just go ahead and take that up. I don't know anything at all about Costa Rican food. I know a little bit about Cuban food. I know quite a bit about Mexican food because it is just one of my obsessions, right? But Costa Rican food is unfortunately unbeknownst to me. Also quite a bit about Dominican food as well, because there's quite a Dominican presence in New York. I've eaten quite a few Dominican meals in my time. Okay. The pulled pork is heating back up. Let's go ahead and get the garnishes ready to go, my friends. Made a little bit of a mess behind me, but that's okay. That's no problem at all. So here's what we gotta do. Here's what we gotta do. I have some cilantro that I have washed up and ready to go. I always toss some cilantro in a salad spinner, rinse it off really, really good, dry it off, and then put into a container with a little bit of paper towel, okay? We don't need a lot of cilantro, this is just a garnish. Nelly, 2 tacos or 1? How hungry are you? 2? And you're gonna have a bowl of rice and beans is the thing. Okay. Huh? I'm glad they did. So, cilantro chopping theory. This is what you have to apply to any soft herb. Take it, lump it up in a hand, okay? You are not chopping herbs. You're going to slice them. If you take a knife and you start chopping away at it with vertical force, you're going to get a bunch of wet herbs that have been mushed and smushed into oblivion. You want nice, really, really thin slices using the full extent of your knife, my friends. Slicing and chopping are not interchangeable. Chopping cleaves it clunkily like an axe, and slicing it protects the delicate, beautiful nature of the cilantro. How can you tell if you have smashed and chopped cilantro to death? It'll stick to the cutting board. Look at this. Look, look, it's not sticking. It stays nice and crunchy and nice and firm. And all we're going to do, give it a 90-degree turn and give it the very same exact slice. We never chop in this household. We're slicers, okay? Big difference, my friends. Big difference. Oh, we also have the pickled onions. I almost forgot about the pickled onions. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Okay. Dude, this garnish plate is gonna be incredible. All right, look at this. Look, perfect. That's it. That's all you need for the garnish on the cilantro. That's done. Next, I'm going to just give the pork a little stir. Now that's a little too wet. We're just going to evaporate some of that liquid, and it should be more than fine, I promise you. Oh, the cooked vinegar in the pork too. It's gonna be really tasty. So, Natalie's one of my mutuals. I knew I wasn't saying a dog's name for nothing. That's really funny. That's a funny thing to say, Melissa. I think Natalie might have followed you after you did my Furisona commission. Something like that. Okay. Now, a little bit of lime. We're just going to cut this up for taco-shaped pieces. Right? So, cut it in half like this. And then one more time. That's what I like. And you do one of these per taco. Lovely. And then the last step is going to be the pickled onions. And the pickled onions I'm not going to chop up. I'm just going to put them directly on. Okay. The water, I believe, has now fully evaporated. Has water evaporated? Yes. That pulled pork, we'll give it another second or so. Perfect. Just like that, another second. We're going to get rid of all of this stuff on the plate, on the table rather. I'm excited about the tacos. That's right, we have pickled onions, we have the homemade salsa. It's going to be beautiful, okay? It's going to be actually fantastic. Let's clean up our station one last time, my friends. We have no more use for anything here. We don't need to chop anything else up because we have concluded this cooking adventure, this little cooking journey. I'm just evaporating the last of the water that I added to the pork. I just wanted to make sure that it heated up nice and evenly. I'm getting rid of everything on my table that I do not need now, just so that I maintain a nice and clean station. And now, I think it is going to be plating time in just a second. And I think I know exactly how I want to do this too. We're going to do 2 big plates and 2 little bowls. And the bowls are going to hold the rice and the beans. A boba? I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, is the pork done? It might be. Yeah, that pork is done. Excellent. Let's taste it. Oh, that pulled pork is incredible. Okay. I gotta get some chopsticks for the pickled onions. And then gotta get a spoon for the rice and beans. Going back to tamales, I normally mix the dough with mashed potatoes. Interesting. Is it a fresh salsa or is it more liquid salsa? No, this is a liquefied and pureed salsa with a little bit of oil. It's great stuff. And I'm going to talk about exactly what comprises it in just a moment. I'm just going to fill up my rice bowls really quickly. I'm going to do small little ones because we did have quite a late lunch, Hug and I, so we don't need a lot of food right now. Okay. Ooh, we could also do a little bit of sour cream on the rice and beans. That could be nice. Well, we'll see. We'll see how you feel like. Okay, that's the rice. And now, let's go ahead and pour some beans on it. I could have chosen a bigger spoon for the job. Those beans are super flavorful. Really beautifully seasoned too. We did not need any more salt. There's plenty of salt in all the components that we added. Okay. I do need to get rid of the bay leaves if possible though. But maybe we can just pick it out ourselves and we'll be okay. That's one bowl of the rice and beans. Perfect. Now, let's do the second one. That is so flavorful. My God. Natalie, these beans are crazy. They're actually excellent. Okay. One little bowl of rice and beans each. As a little side for the tacos. Let's go ahead and wipe this off just for fun. And then I will talk about everything that has gone into them. Would you like to eat off camera or on? Do you not care?
I don't really care. Do you want content?
Huh?
Do you want it for content? Yeah.
I want it for content. Yeah, I want you for content. But we'll see in a second. Okay, my friends. So here's the plates. And now we got to plate this up. We're going to do 2 tacos each. I might even just do 1 because I'm stimmed up at the moment. I might not be able to handle 2. Ah, look at these beautiful tortillas. We have this nice little stack. Let's get some really nice ones. I would like to treat you to the best ones that we have. So I'm inspecting each of them individually. I'm looking through this stack of tortillas for the best. Okay, that's 1, that's perfect, that perfectly puffed up. That also perfectly puffed up, that's for you. And then for me, I'll give myself this one. Ooh, that one was too thick. I'll also give myself this one. Fine, I'll do 2. I'll do 2, it'll be okay. You're making pupusas next time? I love pupusas, but I've never actually tried to make them at home. No. Little trade? Okay, that's fine. All right, here's what we'll do. We'll do it like that. Yeah, that'll be fine. And now, we'll do that like that. Great. Next, let's get the pork on there. First step, the pork, my friends. I like doing this with chopsticks because I don't have any other wooden tools that are good for scooping this up. Get a good amount of meat on there. The pork is actually quite delicious as it is. But it's gonna be fully seasoned up with the salsa that we're about to add to it. Oh, okay. Maybe this wasn't optimal, and maybe I needed another wooden spoon or something. So the pulled pork, I'll tell you exactly about how we cook the pulled pork in just a second. Because I like doing like a proper finishing content shot. Okay, that is all done. Sweet. Let's even up the amount of meat that we've put on these. Boop. And boop. Okay. Excellent. That pork is super juicy. And now, we gotta take a spoon for the salsa. Salsa going on now. Look at that beautiful salsa, huh? Gorgeous. It's quite hot, and I think for that size, that should be plenty of salsa, okay? Lovely. That's all done. And now, the finishing touches are gonna be what? We have some pickled onions, ready to go. So we'll do some of that for a little bit of color and a little bit of extra crunch. Okay? We'll get some of the shorter ones for the taco. Oh shit, I did not mean to hit my GoPro. We'll do about 3 of these per taco. So they're not overwhelmingly acidic, because these can get easily like way too overwhelming, right? Lovely. That's that. And honestly, I don't think we need the sour cream for anything here. No, we don't need it. And now, my friends, we got one more finishing touch to do, huh? We have a little garnish plate that we set up here. We're gonna set up a lime on each of these to indicate one of those per taco. A little bit of cilantro on top. A little cilantro on top. A little bit of cilantro on top. I don't want too much cilantro, okay? I want a nice balanced bite and everything. One lime, one lime. Yes, we're not doing the sour cream on this. Don't sweat it. My friends, how's my plate looking? I think that's a good looking plate. Ugh, I have some shitty little fucking cilantro leaves that we tossed aside. Okay, look at this. Look at this. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, my friends. Let's get that pan out of here. We do not need to see that, okay? Great. This is my ultimate pulled pork taco. Let's talk about every single component that we have here in front of us. First up, the rice and the beans. The rice, just purely Haiger rice, nice and unseasoned, because the beans are going to compensate for it. The beans, full of chicken bouillon, full of chorizo, full of sazon, onions, bay leaves, and garlic too, all cooked down, nice and thick and viscous. Beautiful stuff. Then the tortillas we made ourselves with a little bit of maseca, right? Some of the nixtamalized corn flour. We made the pulled pork the other time. It cooked in some of the Filipino vinegar. It cooked with some onions. It cooked with some bay leaves. It cooked with some oranges and orange juice with garlic as well. A bunch of salt, some cumin, and oregano. The pickled onions we did with some vinegar and some arbol chilies. The salsa we charred. We charred the tomatoes, okay? We charred the onions, we charred the garlic. We blended it all up with some of the arbol chilies and one chipotle as well for a little bit of extra smokiness. We chopped up some fresh cilantro, and that is the ultimate taco. Everything here was made ourselves. We made the beans ourselves. We made the rice ourselves. We made the tortillas ourselves. We have made every single component that is in front of you right now at the moment, and I'm quite happy about it. I should get a couple of little teeny tiny teaspoons for the rice and beans. And now, Natalie, would you like to try a taco? Okay. Let's go to the other camera. This one. So then you can now step into the frame. Hello. This is for you. Have a little bite. Have a little plate. I'm pretty happy about this. I'm so full. We had an egregious amount of pizza.
We actually did like an hour before, not even.
Yeah. I actually don't know how audible you are.
Oh.
Through my because.
Oh, because you're the thing. Oh.
Yeah, something like that. Anyways.
I'm thinking about these beans.
You're thinking about them beans. That's right. Is that a good bean? That's what I'm talking about. I'm pretty happy about it. And now let's have a little taco. I'm gonna have a little bite of a taco because I've yet to actually have this. We've been talking so much about it. Does that do it for you? Does it?
That's a good taco.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Oh, that's also spicy. That's good.
I just shoved the entire one in my mouth.
It's actually funny how fast you eat compared to me.
They do look soft, don't they? They are pliable. You're absolutely right. And that's the beauty of the steaming, right? You do the process correctly, you finish it off in the steaming, and then it just gets nice and pliable. And tomorrow, it's gonna make such like amazing huevos con churros. Yes, that also happens when you have so much food in your mouth that you physically can't even lift your jaw to speak. Okay. If you'd like, you can continue on camera appearance, or you can just take this to the couch. It is up to you at this point.
I'm fine.
You're fine.
Being here.
Yeah, you're fine. You're okay with that.
Yeah.
Nicely
These
done.
beans are so
I thank you. right? Yeah. They're so simple too. None of this was like, the only thing that I really like cooked was like the chorizo, and everything else was just thrown into the pressure cooker. And I love doing black beans in a pressure cooker because there's just no nonsense to it. I have not been using canned beans at all since I got this thing. It's actually just the best thing ever. I love pressure cookers for beans. You get the best texture possible. Oh dude, the texture on these,
It's like so creamy.
right? That's why you gotta cook down the cooking liquid, right? Because that is like filled with all the proteins and the starches from the beans, and it keeps the whole thing together. Think about how wasteful canned beans are. Everybody's like, oh, cooking beans is so hard. It's not. It's really not. A pressure cooker saves your life. 40 minutes and you have an incredible texture. That is fucking flames. That is actually excellent.
I took a massive chunk of chorizo.
We got asked, are we twins?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to respond to that, dog. I don't even know what to say to that shit. No, we are not twins. We don't even look alike.
No, you're Filipino now. That's fine.
Yeah. My Russian Jewish heritage has been completely, it's gone now.
Filipino now. Congratulations.
I did it. I've succeeded. I've done it. What if I'm super to afford anything that's over $3 of food per week? There is no cheaper food than beans. That is actually just about like as economical as it gets. And canned beans are ridiculously inflated in price because you're buying a wet product, okay, that is soaked in water. If I can only afford canned beans, I'm affording canned beans. No, Melissa, what I'm saying is dried beans are about half the price of canned beans. But, of course, there's different situations and you have to take into the time consideration if you don't have a pressure cooker, whatever. But dried beans, they are half the cost because one can of canned beans, that's about, what, like 16 ounces of beans, let's say in a can? That's $1, right?
Yeah.
That's $1 of cooked beans. Basically, that started out as 8 ounces of dried beans, right? And then they're basically sold for the same price that a pound of dried beans are. It's ridiculously over inflated, is what it is. But it is convenient. It is convenient. Anyhow, black beans are the easiest one in my experience, alongside pinto beans to cook. The others can get a little bit finicky and tricky. But that is my strong recommendation if you are looking to also save a little bit of money. Thank you for not making American tacos and cooking your own beans. Thank you, that's very sweet. However, I will say, there's a lot of merit and a lot of beauty to, you're from Texas, aren't you? There's a lot of beauty to like a proper like Tex-Mex taco, but one that's done on like a fresh flour tortilla, right? It's never corn, right? But like a really like chewy, fresh, leavened. Yes, the pressure cooker would of course be the expensive component here, but you can also just do it in a pot with some time. It's the kind of a thing that you can just leave and let go. But I do love. Tex-Mex food is one of the ones that gets bastardized the most in the United States. Because it's like you go outside of Texas and you eat like at an American Mexican restaurant and it is fucking horrendous. You thought that was lyric for a second? No. Smash commentator, ultimate commentator, lyric of wisdom.
Never heard. I am not a Smash Ultimate player.
Yeah. No, you don't need a pressure cooker, but it's just, for me, it's a lot easier with like my lifestyle. Point is, you can just do it in a pot. You don't need it. But I highly advise it. Man.
I devour those beans.
Those are pretty solid, aren't they? A rice cooker. Me personally, I do it just fine in a saucepan. Like, whoa, Mally, you were a saucepan rice doubter, weren't you, right?
I've never seen it made in an actual pan.
Right? And look at that texture. Look at that texture. That's what I'm talking about.
It's not like soggy. It's not like dry. It's like that nice little like.
It's got the granularity without being too dry, but it's still got like enough softness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I've eaten a lot of rice in my life. It's good rice.
So have I. Well, you've seen this kitchen. I don't have the space for a rice cooker. Dude, this place is fucked. It is like full.
Where would you put it?
They're quite useful. Okay. Am I too full to eat that taco? That's what I get for having like 3 slices of pizza at like 4 p.m. or so.
Yeah, we ate like 3 slices of pizza, and then like 20 minutes later, like, oh, full. Never mind, we eat like the rest of the pizza.
That was a lot of pizza. We have only 2 slices left in the fridge. We basically devoured that entire pot. Those tacos look good. They are good. I want you to look at this thing, huh? The pickled onions, the salsa that we put it on, the pulled pork. You had to pop out? Well, I'm happy to have you.
The onions are like super nice on it.
All right. Oh, I love pickled onions on taco. Like, Hello, Soy. It's lovely to have you. I like fresh corn tortillas just like night and day, with like shitty like store-bought ones.
They're like slightly grainy, but like in a really good way. It's crumbly. No, I actually ate the lime. That's the frustration.
What? What happened?
I accidentally ate the lime.
Ah, it was a little treat. Okay.
It went pretty good.
I was never book smart and money smart. Makes me more intelligent. I was supposed to do the shoot tomorrow, but it's in a really far part of New York. I was supposed to be featured in that music video tomorrow, but I can't do it. It's just 3 hours out of the way. I'm annoyed. I'm not taking a train for 3 hours just to be in that Jay-Z music video.
Talked by Jay-Z.
Okay. You're ditching? I am ditching. I am ditching. I'm sorry. It would have been so good though. Can you imagine the timeline that I would have been in that music video? It'd have been great. I'm so upset about it. Oh well, it was a little too far out of the way. All right, my friends. Oh, I still have some beans to eat, don't I? Russian beans are my favorite food ever. You know
I was
that?
about to say, like, they're up there for me.
They are
Devoured those.
the perfect amalgamation of textures. I love rice and beans to death. They're just my favorite. Okay, my friends, I think this is going to be now the conclusion of the cooking stream. If anybody has any final questions, comments, concerns, this is the time to do it. In the meantime, I'm gonna find somebody for us to raid. Who is live? Let's see which e-girl is live on Twitch. Oh, Roses. Okay, we're just gonna raid Rose. Or do we raid Salt? Do we raid Salt?
That'd be interesting. Salt's playing.
Salt's playing some Nick All-Stars Brawl. Okay. Next recipe, I don't know. But I do know that the next stream is going to be at Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. The Wednesday is Wednesday. The schedule is Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Okay? You guys do not support Nickelodeon? Well, yes. But this is Salt. And Salt's playing the game. And Salt is a sweetheart. Salt's really nice. I'm also a big fan of Salt. Also, thank you so much, Canadian Panda, for the sub. Complex Hispanic recipe. It depends on what it is. But the way that I cook, I just really want to clarify, the way that I cook at home is I try to develop recipes and do things that are best suited in a home setting. So if it's complicated, but it's the kind of a thing that A, reheats well, or B, can be transformed into something else, it's perfect. One thing I really want to do is I really want to try doing a mole on stream. I fucking love mole, dude. Mole is crazy. Can we send you recipes? The reason why I say kind of is because I'm not really teaching how to cook recipes. I'm trying to teach and show off like home cooking techniques and theory. But if there's a specific name of a dish that you think I should cook and that I would be interested in, let me know and I'll do my little research. But okay, everybody, I am gonna be out of here. We're gonna go ahead and raid Salt. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Natalie, for being here as well. It is lovely to have you. As a little appearance. I'll see you guys on Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern time, okay? Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Be there or be a square. And you don't want to be a square. It's actually quite not a good outcome. Bye-bye.